Get yourself some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99.
What up?
Hey, buddy. Hear me?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of background noise with the TV?
Yeah, I can hear it big time.
Shit.
No worries.
Unstoppable love.
Do the same play with the volume. Fucking around with the volume.
Yeah, no, I figure when the picks come in, just so we're all kind of on the same. I mean, you guys can watch obviously what you want, but I'll just turn up like mine, and then my mic will pick that up, and then I'll just mute it right after the pick is made.
Sounds good.
Cool. We're live now, so everybody gets to see us set up all of our glory here. Gotta love it.
I'm slumming it tonight.
Yeah. You home alone?
Fat pants and stained hoodie.
I mean, that's a sports fan look, though, right?
That is the draft slug on the couch weekend look.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So your boy's still slipping, man.
Yeah.
You have to start thinking about it's got to be a medical concern, right?
Maybe.
Has to be.
Otherwise, I just think, you can get into these things where there's just runs on certain positions, and I don't know.
I didn't see T'Vondre Sweat with all the off the field stuff.
You guys keep putting spoilers in. I thought we had an agreement.
I said spoilers, no spoilers. Nobody answered. I was like, spoilers except Green Bay, and Andy was like, good. I'm like, all right.
I prefer no spoilers. I mean, to me,
let's roll no spoilers then. Let's make the pivot.
In the world we live in, what surprises are really left anymore? The only surprise that or thing that would surprise me is like if a team shoots a basketball and the Bucks box out and try to grab the rebound rather than just stand there and wait for it to come to them. Surprising.
I tried so hard. I lasted maybe like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, they've closed the gap. It's a 2-point game now. I don't know. To me, it's clear that the winner of the Bucks Pacers tonight is the winner of this series. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but
I just can't basketball. I just can't NBA anymore. It's just so bad.
That must be maybe that's an age thing.
It might be.
Because the playoffs have been great this year so far. There's not been many stinkers.
I was having a conversation with a buddy that I have that lives out in Vegas. I feel like the NBA is kind of like all and one now. Like it's just not. It's so much.
The regular season is worthless. Like it's so obvious that these guys are going through the motions. Like, and what doesn't help is the NBA's coverage. Like the media does not help them at all. Like they are a hindrance for sure.
To what? I mean, what do you mean? Like to what aspect?
The way that they cover the game, it's all about individuals. The regular season, all they talk about is like MVP and legacies and all that bullshit rather than actually covering the game. Because if you think about when you were a kid and you watched SportsCenter every morning, right, before school, how awesome was it that you got to see highlights of every game and you knew like every player on every team because everybody got kind of equal treatment. It was literally like, journalism.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the lack of the team kind of concept. Like you're not really a Bucks or Bulls or Lakers fan anymore. You're a LeBron fan, or you're a Durant fan, or you're a Giannis fan.
Yeah, social media hasn't helped that aspect. Oh, we got a pick.
Yep, T'Vondre Sweat.
Select Trayvondre
Sweat. I don't know who just announced the pick for the Titans, but they called him Trayvondre. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
I didn't think so. I didn't want to be like, ha ha, then be like, oh, it turns out I'm the asshole because I don't know who his real name, but that's kind of funny.
Another trade here. Looks like Rams are coming up to Carolina.
Okay. So where are we at now? Well, this is pick number 37 coming up.
39.
39. Wow, where the hell have I been?
Yeah, 39.
I've watched all the picks. I don't know how I missed that.
Carolina coming up here. This has to be a weapon for Bryce Young. Carolina has so many holes.
Right.
know
I mean,
holding
you'd
out.
think so, but with the amount of holes that they have, like it really could be anybody feasibly.
They have no receivers, like legit, none. Probably AD Mitchell or. Did you see that? Did you click that that tweet I sent you about your boy Xavier Leggett?
No, what was that?
Dude, he sounds like Boomhauer.
Does he really?
I swear to God. Hold on, let me see if I can find it and resend it to you.
Please do. That is amazing.
Oh my God, he's Boomhauer, dude.
Well, the Bucks now have the lead. They're up 1 with 9:27. This little hybrid show action here.
Copy, paste. There you go. Listen to that, Jake. It is fucking gold. Gold.
I might be able to share it live on the broadcast here.
If you can, do it. It
All
is
right, hold on.
gold.
Let me open this in a new tab. I'm sure this is riveting for the folks at home if anybody's watching. We only have 30 people watching. Hey, y'all. Why don't you guys jump in? Love to hear from you. I'll post the YouTube link here in a moment.
Wow.
No spoilers.
You fifth and a 2025 2. To move
52 to 38, 39.
52 to 39.
Ooh, that is rich.
Ooh, that's big, Rich.
So I have ESPN on, and of course they cut to. Well, maybe that. I thought that was a player, but
Picks coming in.
okay. Soon as I have it on my screen, I will cut to the audio here. What do we got here? Isaac Bruce. Greatest show on turf. Here we go.
Right on. The Carolina Panthers have traded the 39th pick to the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, with the 39th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Brandon Fisk, Florida State D tackle.
Braden.
So
not Brandon.
we've got 2 mispronounced names in a row. Apparently it was Trayvondre Swift, and now it's Brandon Fisk from Florida State, not Braden like we all thought. Okay, so we're getting a run on big men now.
It's Braden Fisk. I think it's Fisky, or I don't know that it's Fisk. Could be wrong there.
You know what they should make is foam fingers that are in a fist and just say Fiskum. Remember my shocker fingers?
Yes, I do.
It should be the Fisk. Fiskum. Just have his face on there.
Do you
Are you into fisking?
Do you get that? Do you get that tweet?
I did. I'm going to wait until after the Packers pick because I'm afraid I'm going to miss Green Bay picking somehow.
Oh, another trade.
Come on. Who moved up?
Oof. There goes your boy.
All right, so Washington traded up?
No, Washington traded out. Philly traded up. There goes your boy. It's got to be.
You think so? With them picking up Quinyon Mitchell in the first round?
They got no safe. That was one of the worst secondaries in the entire league last year.
I'm wondering when my boy Cole Bishop is going to go off the board because that seems to be somebody that there was no consensus on. Like I remember hearing some saying that he's safety 1 in this draft, some saying that like he's like a 4th or 5th round pick. I mean, you look at the guy's tape, and I mean, he looks electric.
I think I posted this earlier. They after about the top 50 players, it's all about fit and flavor. There's people that have guys rated as a top 60, top 70, and that are going to be like 6 rounders on other boards.
Well, and I also think that you look at a team like, let's talk about Green Bay. They are a team that typically they're like, let's let our board do our thing. Not every team thinks that way. Some teams do look at, hey, we're short on this, so let's, stack up a few, guys at this position here. Some teams do build through the draft and want that immediate impact. So I don't know.
there's no way you don't trade in front of Green Bay to. This has got to be your boy.
Well, we'll see.
The board's strong enough that it's not. If
I can't tell you how frustrated I will be if that's the case here.
If DeJean goes here, the board is still fine.
It's fine, but we just saw a lot of guys that were looked at as, in some cases, top 20 picks just come off in front of us. So that would be frustrating to the layman like us that, you know, we follow the NFL draft. We try to do our own version of scouting. So obviously Green Bay is always going to do their thing and do what they think is best. But yeah, I mean, your best two players right now probably are corners right now with Kool-Aid and DeJean. So, you know, if their plan is to get a corner here, you get, you know, whoever is left, I suppose. But you might have something here that's, given how it's so obvious that DeJean seems like such a good fit for Green Bay. If Philly really likes him, they could deem it necessary.
Philly too.
I think he's a fit for anybody because of his versatility. I think you can find a spot for Cooper DeJean on any NFL team.
There's so many good people on the board, dude. JPJ. Although I don't know that you need a center anymore after yesterday.
I didn't realize he was still on the board. Yeah, I'm more than happy if Green Bay takes him at 41. I think that's insane value personally. Particularly if you're looking for a guy that's going to start from day one. I mean, and I think to me, he's the safest player in the entire draft. I look at that guy and I just say, where's the hole in his game?
12-year starter.
Yeah.
We're looking at Rakestraw, slow, small, Nealand, Edge Cooper, Junior Colson, TJ Tampa, Kool-Aid. You know, Kool-Aid had the broken foot.
Well, and some of the names you mentioned there were brought in on top 30 visits to Green Bay, including Nealand, including Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And Green Bay, they're not really a team that smoke screens a lot when it comes to using those visits. They end up with either via the draft or undrafted free agents, a lot of the guys that they bring in for visits.
Yep. Yeah, then a lot of interior guys, Chris Jenkins, Mason Smith, you know, one of the Twitter favorites, Max Melton. I don't see it on the tape.
Yeah, you know, I wonder if, because we have Bo and, you know, fans like that brotherly, that family thing. Like, look at the Bucks with Thanasis and Giannis, and I don't know. I guess I wouldn't hate it, but I do think that would be a little bit rich at 41 for Melton, and he was a late riser as well.
Yeah, especially with the way the board is. Honestly, if the pick's about to come up now, you can walk away with one of three. If somebody would have told you that you could get CDJ, Kool-Aid, Nealand, Cooper, Rakestraw, any of those guys at 41, you would have took that.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and assume we're not taking any of those guys because every time I feel confident, like, hey, we're going to get one of these, it never happens. So I'm just going to be open-minded here. Let's see who Philly picks. Oops. Let me get my volume up here.
Hey, first off, I want to say, go blue all day, baby. A-E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
It's going to be refreshing when Bulaga gets up there because he's not going to make it about himself.
Dallas sucks all day. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, but you know, it's an honor to be here in the hometown of my city of Detroit. And you know, 14 years ago, the Eagles have definitely changed my life. And you know, to be a part of this organization, going on my
This is like trying to find a recipe online when you have to sift through 9 paragraphs of a personal story before you're just like, give me the fucking ingredients.
Oh, no. Jake is devastated.
Well, Philly just always gets everything, so good for them. Good for them being aggressive, and good for Gutekunst sitting on his ass again. God knows we need 17 picks in this draft. So thank God he didn't move up. Hopefully he moves down. My hope is that we just get out of rounds 2 and 3 completely and just get like 22 4th through 7th round picks. I mean, there you go. You get all the swings you need.
So here for the meltdown.
Yep. I mean, you snooze, you lose. I guess the one solace that I can take is that they probably weren't going to take him anyways. Just because we don't get nice things
Well, there
other
again,
than Jordan Love.
there has to be. Oh, and we traded out.
Shut up. All right, I'm watching the Bucks game. Let's see here. We'll go right back to my misery. Indiana up 1. About 6 minutes left.
They moved back a couple picks. They didn't move very far.
Yeah, like I said, you got to get those extra 7ths, man. You need those 7th rounders.
5 and a 6. Damn it.
I'm guessing one of those is a pick swap. I don't think you're getting 2 picks to move back a couple picks.
Oh, hold on.
Andy says that you have to believe they're moving up from 58. No, I don't. Why would I have to believe that? To me, that would assume like anybody can get in Gutekunst's head.
It can't be 2 picks. It has to be 3 picks.
You know, this reminds me of Craig Counsell going to Chicago. Like, why does it have to be Philly every fucking year? Everything falls right for them. They don't have to do much of anything.
They moved back 4 picks. Yeah, so they moved from 41 to 45, picked up a 5 and a 6.
Well, this is one of those days where you just kind of remind yourself, why do I even like sports? What joy do I get out of this? I'm having an existential moment at the moment here.
You are. It's because you fall in love with players, singular players.
Well, and when I see Philly come up and get him, that just tells me he's going to become an all-pro. He's going to be amazing, and we're going to look fucking stupid. But to be fair, I mean, Kevin King was a world beater. TJ Watt, So Kool-Aid McKinstry comes off the board. Green Bay is not getting one of the premium corners in the draft, so we can shut the book on that. Okay. To me, the blue chip talent is starting to really, really fade away. To me, we're starting to get into the Jag territory, just a guy. But perhaps Green Bay is just looking at this as a depth draft, and that's why they're trying to stack up picks.
Like we talked about in our chat, there's usually a consensus top 50. Some people don't even have that. Some people could have a top 30 top consensus. And after that point, you get into like the flavors, right? You get into people
Sure.
with your schemes, your what you're trying to run, what those kind of are.
Big Bob on the ass. He just hit a 3 to put the Bucks up 3. There's 4:20 left in the game. No, you're right. And one thing that bothers me a lot is after the draft is over, when you listen to like sports radio, you always have the guys that are like criticizing certain picks. Like the one that I always think about is the AJ Dillon pick. And there was a certain guy in the local Milwaukee radio that, he's like he'll try to tell you like, no, you don't know. I watch so much college football. I am an expert, and they could have gotten Dillon in the 6th round. Like, no, like Dillon was a 2nd round pick because he was picked in the 2nd round. Like, just because you did 1,000 mock drafts, that doesn't mean you know where he was going to be picked. Unless you have access to all 32 boards, you don't know shit. So again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It just really, really fucking blows to have the guy you want in your eyes fall to you twice, and almost fall to you twice. You miss it by 1 pick.
At the end of the day, right? I'm on a couch. We're on in a podcast. I am not employed by the NFL. Gutekunst is, and he's successful at it. Anybody that's the talking heads as we saw with what's his face, the Raiders GM, Mayock. The talking heads, 99 times out of 100 have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Sure. Sorry, as you say that, the Texans at pick 42 pick Kamari Lassiter. So all the corners coming off the board now.
TJ Tampa's a better player.
So this is really a draft of runs so far. I mean, offensive tackles, receivers, now corners. We saw a mini run of defensive tackles there. Teams get nervous. It's kind of funny. Which also makes me a little bit more down on the Jordan Morgan pick yesterday, because I have to wonder, did Gutekunst just kind of get psyched out? Like, oh, I'm not going to get a tackle if I don't do it now.
No,
I would
don't
hope
think-
not.
I think they had him on their board as, if you go back and watch the presser, it sounded like they had like 12 guys, 15 guys that they were really, really focusing on at 25. And if one of those 12 or 15 weren't there, they were going to roll back no matter what they were going to do.
I wonder what goes through Gutekunst's head. Like, what makes you pull the trigger on a trade up? Like, how high does a guy have to be, ahead of where the draft is and where you have him slotted before you're like, we have to go get someone like that?
Well,
it's always fascinating to me.
A couple years ago, it's been a few years, but he did talk about this, and the way that it switched when Ted retired, the way that they kind of put people in blocks, and they have like, this is where we're comfortable taking these people, and then they have the range. I want to say it was after, it might've been the TJ Watt, Kevin King year, where they
Kevin King, you say, huh?
Yeah, where they had people in blocks, and if you're not, it depends on the cost benefit of what you're going to do for your trade up. That light is like glaring like MF.
You look angelic right now.
Thank you.
By the way, 2 straight possessions where the Bucks cough it up. Well, I shouldn't say cough it up, but bad look from Lopez flailing into the lane, and Middleton missed a bunny. So it's tie game with 2:17. Pascal Siakam just bricked a jumper. All right. Pressure's on for both teams here. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, they got people in blocks. So I think their methodology of it is, can we get one of the people that's in, our, I guess, use it kind of like a recruiting analogy, 5-star, 4.5-star, 4-star, 3.5-star,
Sure.
Things. Where are we going to get them, and what's it going to cost us? Is it going to cost us a 3.5 and then 2 3-stars to go up and get a 5-star? Would we rather have, 3 rotational players or the 1 player? I don't know. They're secretive enough that you can't kind of dig into it, but he did speak to that. I want to say it was after the Kevin King draft.
By the way, Matt Schneidman just tweeted out, last year the Packers traded back twice in the second round before taking Jaden Reed, who set the organization's rookie record for receptions. So thanks for bringing a little positivity to the stream, Matt.
They actually got Reed, Kraft, and Brooks in that trade back.
That's right. That's quite the haul. All right. Bucks continue to, I don't want to say choke, but give up
Be dog shit.
some good licks, or some good licks, Jesus. Middleton just stepped out of bounds after a missed Indiana bucket. Literally just ran up the sideline and stepped out of bounds. Unforced error. That is a pain in the ass. So a little under 2 minutes left. Game is tied. Cardinals pick has been in for a while here.
Yeah,
We've got Arizona. After that, the Raiders are picking, and then Green Bay is on the board. We'll see if they stay on the board.
Arizona's going to have to go a perimeter player here. There's no, unless they're going Nyland.
Who would you think? Who's left as far as when you say perimeter, you're talking corner, wide receiver?
Corner, wide receiver. They need both. It's somebody to take some of the pressure off of Marvin Harrison. And they need corners bad. Yeah, I mean, they signed Murphy Bunning, but
Yeah, Arizona's another team that I think you could go a lot of different ways. I did not realize Adonai Mitchell is still on the board. A a mock favorite for Green Bay. Edgerrin Cooper still on the board. Nealand. Yeah,
Isaac
some good players.
would fit.
I will say, by the time day 3 rolls around tomorrow, I will be overhyping the shit out of whoever they pick in the second round. I feel like I have a history for the most part of disliking first rounders and then just going to town on second and third round guys.
Yeah, last year I think was your only anomaly.
Last year they picked my guy. I was a Lucas Van Ness guy. If you guys, anybody's watching that doesn't know, I am obsessed with defensive players from Iowa. I have this weird thing where in my head they're all, 10-time Pro Bowlers. So I was all in on Van Ness, and then obviously I was all in on DeJean this year. All right, the pick is in. Let's see who the Arizona Cardinals select. Andrew Robbie in Phoenix, Arizona, waits with bated breath. Is that Emmett?
No, looks like Emmett. It's Leonard Davis.
My screen's a little blurry.
What's up, Detroit?
Leonard Davis is a little bit bigger than Emmett Smith.
Just a touch.
Where's all my Cardinal fans at?
Leonard, you almost earned my respect by just announcing the pick.
There's your Speed Demon,
In the 2024
low
NFL
production.
Arizona Cardinals select Max Melton, defensive back.
Okay, so Max Melton goes off the board, removes the temptation. Cornerback from Rutgers. So you were right on the money there, Eric. A perimeter player, cornerback from Rutgers. Late riser up the draft boards.
Yeah, not great tape. Played quite a bit inconsistently. Didn't have the strongest competition either. Rutgers was terrible.
They
were
always
terrible.
How did they end up in the Big Ten?
That's the birthplace of college football? I don't know. But they he tested insane.
He did, just like his brother. So you got the athletic family profile there for sure. Although his brother's quite a bit bigger. Looks like Dame just got hacked. No call. Indiana up 1 with 35 left, and they have the ball. Bucks, it's too bad. They were down big early in the first quarter. It would suck to come all the way back and then lose this one at the end. But looks like that might be what is happening. Offensive rebound to Siakam. Story of the night. The Bucks can't box out. And 1. He gets the bucket. They are up 3 with Siakam going to the line for 1. So it looks like the Bucks have choked this one away after taking the lead multiple times in the fourth. Fuck sports. You can all go fuck yourself. All right. The Raiders are picking.
Who's
Here we
not
go.
surprised that the Bucks are
The Las Vegas Raiders select guard Jackson Powers
Wow.
Johnson.
Okay.
Wow.
JPJ goes off the board, announced as a guard. Whatever. Interior lineman. That's kind of just now you have to make the distinction, like there's an edge player and a linebacker. Before they used to just kind of announce it as both, but went the opposite now. Interior players are just kind of listed as that way. Great pick for Oakland. Would have been phenomenal for Green Bay. I would have loved it.
This has to be okay. So Green Bay's on the clock. Who do we want? It's got to be Nealand or Edge. Like
Nealand and Cooper, I would think, would be the two big ones. But as we all know, we can't really know what's going on in Gutekunst's head. His board is going to look a lot different than the consensus board for both a fan base and probably for a lot of other GMs. We talked about it a lot yesterday that Green Bay has a program and they have fits and they put the pieces that fit into there and they don't really, stray away from that. So
they don't deviate ever.
in a way, it's kind of like a football version of a money ball.
Yep. That's why we all laughed at the Marius Mims and the Tyler Guyton mocks. It was
I don't want to say it was just like kind of lazy mock drafts because people would just say, well, they need an offensive lineman. Well, yeah, but you got to, they're a team that they're going to get an offensive lineman that also fits. They're not just going to go consensus.
Pick came in really, really fast.
That did.
They literally.
I'm guessing we're probably at the point now where, the next 3 or 4 picks are probably in and, ESPN, NFL Network, they got to get their coverage in. So they just kind of hold on to it.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's a whole lot of bald white guys in that picture.
Well, then tomorrow, when they get to the remaining rounds, if you go on Twitter, you can see like the next 15 picks ahead of when they get announced, because it's literally just they milk it.
All
So
right.
let's see. Are we going to commercial
Laura.
for Green Bay's pick? All right, I'm going to turn it up now. No early reactions.
Thank you for the warm welcome. With the 45th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Edgerrin Cooper.
Oh, there it is. So no smoke screen there. Green Bay takes Edgerrin Cooper, the uber athletic outside linebacker. Probably going to play inside potentially.
No, he'll play your Sam. He'll play the strong side, and then McDuffie will be on the inside, and then Quay will be on the weak side.
Yeah, that I think was a need that I think a lot of people overlooked, because I guess in this day and age, linebackers just aren't very highly valued unless you're an edge guy, or you're that, big thumper in the middle that racks up all the tackles. But overall, it sticks to Green Bay's theme of getting those freak athletes, getting the speed. I mentioned this to you guys earlier that I didn't realize somehow in this entire process, and as much as I love seeing the tape of Amari Cooper, that he had 8 sacks last year. I mean,
He's
for
also
Texas A&M.
He's also almost 6'4", 230. He's like 6'3" and 3/8 or something like that. He's a big dude.
It's when I want to say like probably 10 to 12 years ago, there was like a big run where you'd get these huge safeties that were kind of safety high or linebacker hybrids. He's almost on the verge of that, where probably a little bit taller than you'd like to see at safety, but I mean, certainly athletic enough to play like that in the box safety. But good pick, good solid pick. I guess it's helpful that you move back to, for someone that a lot of people were mocking at 41, and some people even thought, hey, if their guy's not there at 25, they may just take him at 25 as well. Right. So,
and we talked about that before we even got to the point of being on the clock at 41, like when we were at 39 or something like that when we first came on, that we were comfortable with, a certain set of players: Cooper DeJean, Edgerrin Cooper, Kool-Aid. You move back, you pick up a 5th, you pick up a 6th, you still get one of those 3.
Sure. Detroit is about to, or excuse me, they put Detroit behind him. I always think it's Detroit picking. The Panthers are picking, and there's 6.9 seconds left in the Bucs game. The Bucs have the ball, down 3. Let's go to the pick.
Yeah, feels good to be home. Congratulations to all of the draft picks.
Bears legend Muhsin Muhammad.
Welcome you to this NFL fraternity. I'm so excited for your future. All the coaches, all the players that I played with, just want to give you all a special shout out and thank you. I know Coach Saban is in the house.
Shout out to Brian Bulaga for not making it about himself and just announcing the fucking pick.
The Indianapolis Colts have traded the 46th pick to the Carolina Panthers. Go Cardiac King.
All right, I tried to get the pick in before the end of this Bucs game, but
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Jonathan Brooks.
all right.
I'm guessing the Bucs lost, right?
Middleton just hit a fucking insane 3-pointer, falling away into the Indiana sideline to tie the game with 1.4. Holy shit. That was a pull it out and lay it on the table moment for Chris Middleton, who's had quite a few of those in his career. I am going to get a lot of shit on Twitter because I've been accused of being a Middleton hater for a long, long time. I don't care. He also got bumped. Indiana might have a gripe that you could have called a foul before he was able to get the 3-pointer off. If I'm an Indiana fan right now, I am livid that they didn't foul up 3 before they were able to get a 3-point attempt away. Game is certainly not over. 1.4 seconds left. That's an eternity to get a shot off. So the Bucs got to pull their heads out of their asses and D up. This we'll see what happens here. But
Oh, damn it. No, seeing Legette's picture just brought me back to the tweet thinking about
we're gonna get there.
Yeah, I know. We gotta make sure that we get there because that I'm telling you, man, it is so fucking gold. This is like primo. Let me get rid of that glare.
That could be an all-time draft moment. I do remember when the Detroit Lions picked Ziggy Ansah, and he was wearing real 3D glasses that you get when you go to the movie theater. I think somebody was like, it looks like those 3D glasses. And sure enough, they get the close-up of it and you see it real 3D written on the side of it. So I guess he was balling on a budget. All right. So 1.4 left. Indiana about to inbound. Bucks take a timeout after seeing, well, maybe not. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I can get rid of that glare, dude. Sorry.
It's all right. I think you look great.
As you're staring at a whole lot.
All right. So it looks like was that Siakam just clanged a shot, a prayer. So the Bucks and Pacers are going into overtime. Lovely. Let's just get my stress levels up even more. All right. So the Giants are about to pick after Jonathan Brooks. I think if he wasn't hurt, was probably a first round pick.
Or close.
Yeah, he was right. Running back one in any draft is probably at the very least has to be considered in the first round. And very, very talented guy. So we had talked a lot about potentially Green Bay with all these picks. Maybe you take him and you redshirt him for a year and have him be the heir apparent for Aaron Jones. Obviously, the whole Josh Jacobs thing threw a wrench into that plan. I still think Green Bay will walk away with a running back in this draft. But I wasn't necessarily in favor of that early taking a guy that you already right off the bat know isn't going to contribute in year one by default.
No, and I think the back class, it's a flavor type class, right? There's no complete guy. You have the pass pro guy in Braylon Allen. You have the out of the backfield cut slash guy in Jalen Wright that face some of the weakest boxes in all of college football, or probably the most complete is Benson or Marshawn Lloyd from USC. And then you move it down a little bit and you get some of the smaller school guys and Ray Davis, Dylan Lobby, Estime from Notre Dame is another guy who didn't test well.
All right, so the Giants pick next. A lot of people were surprised they did not go quarterback in round one. There was some late buzz that's where that pick was headed.
This has got to be O-line. O-line's a disaster.
And I'm trying to think, as far as quarterbacks that are available, you've got the kid from Tulane. Help me with his name.
Michael Pratt, Spencer Rattler. Devin Leary.
But again, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So at first glance, you'd say that's probably a little early, but depends on how they view these guys and how bad do they feel that they need to put the heat on Danny Dimes.
And there were some late rumors yesterday. Granted, Twitter and draft industrial complex kind of rumors that Rattler could sneak back into that backside of that first round.
Yeah, I would have been surprised, but he was somebody that early in his collegiate career seemed like a consensus, top 5, top 10 guy.
He was a top 5 recruit in all of high school football.
Absolutely.
There's a Netflix special literally about him. Sam Howell, ironically, too.
All right. Check in on the Bucks in overtime here. Overtime period just started. Still tied.
Tiki.
Middleton misses a shot. Again, pressure cooker in Indiana at the field house. Miles Turner bricks a mid-range shot. All right, Tiki Barber about to announce the pick.
I see it, G-Man. With the 47th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the
Andy.
New York Football Giants select Tyler Nubin, safety.
All right. Our co-host from yesterday, Andrew Savy, will be happy. Tyler Nubin, the safety from the Minnesota Golden Gophers, goes in the second round. I think this is a good spot for Nubin.
I'm not a
Safety
fan.
one, maybe you think that the first safety off the board goes a little bit higher. But again, one of those positions that over the years now is becoming less and less valued. And his athletic testing really, really didn't do him any favors.
No,
All right.
he tested more like a linebacker. He actually plays a little bit more like a linebacker. He's a box guy.
All right. I can hear your TV. How's it going?
Good. I'll turn it down here.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
There he is.
Had to pop in after the Packers pick for a little bit before this guy went to bed.
All right.
Cooper, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, at that point, when they traded out, I had a suspicion it was going to be Cooper. Just had that feeling that they were looking at linebacker with the way the board was falling. You said everything to say about Nubin. It's interesting that safeties are going to be drafted, at least the first one comes off the board versus based on tape and not workout.
All right. Your thoughts on Tyler Nubin? I mean, you watched him a lot. You're a Golden Gophers alumni. You're a Golden Gophers football fan. What'd you think of him?
So, he's not, I think about the other safety, that Gopher safety that went in this range recently. He's not Winfield. I don't expect him to be Winfield. I think you're going to get a solid, like Nick said, he's going to be a box guy. He's going to be, I can't think of the guy from Arizona a couple years ago that they drafted, but everybody thought that he was just going to be a box. That was it, Dean Buchanan. But he's going to be a box guy. He's going to be in the box. He's going to be supporting safety. Interesting that the Giants took him, who the Packers signed their safety from. He can't replace that. He's not that guy.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting if they're going to make him play that role.
I guess if you're a Giants fan, it's got to be a little bit frustrating to think like, we had McKinney and he's 24 and we didn't want to pay him. Sorry, real quick to interrupt. The Jacksonville Jaguars just picked at 48 Mason Smith, defensive tackle from LSU. So the trenches guys continue to dominate the draft so far.
Massive upside for Mason Smith.
Bucks just gave up another offensive rebound. Again, that has been the story of this game. They just can't get a hold of that part of the game. Can't box out. I mean, they're definitely giving up some size to Indiana, but if they end up losing this game, you have nowhere else to look in the mirror. But sometimes it just comes down to effort and fundamentals. Put your ass into somebody. If a shot goes up, you find somebody, get your body on them. So Indiana about to inbound, 2 minutes left, tie ball game with yet another offensive opportunity. So, all right. As I mentioned, the trenches are dominating the draft so far, particularly in the second round, a lot of defensive tackles. Obviously, yesterday we saw a lot of offensive linemen go. Another offensive rebound the Bucks just gave up. I'm not making this up. Indiana.
Yeah, what happened to Dame on that one? Did he get
looked like he
yanked
got
out?
fouled, and then they didn't call anything. Middleton misses a dunk, gets bailed out with a foul. Chris, dude, you're 6'8". Come on, brother. I'll have to see. That looked kind of like a phantom foul to me, but Middleton just couldn't.
There was two hands in the back.
Okay, yeah, good call. That might be a flagrant, actually.
Yeah, I don't see how he's playing the ball there. And that's a 3-point shot. That is a flagrant. That's his landing space.
If they don't at least review this, are they reviewing it? They better be. They are not reviewing it. That's ridiculous. That is pretty much exactly what they're trying to get rid of in this league. But we saw different circumstances for different situations.
That's a flagrant in high school basketball.
Yep. And we saw it with Embiid yesterday, common foul after he first tries to trip OG Anunoby, then wrenches on Mitchell Robinson's ankle while he's in the air and then pushes him as Mitchell Robinson falls down. If he doesn't get suspended, I mean, a lot of aspects of the NBA are a joke, but I mean, that's pretty blatant. Beverly gets blown by off of Beverly's foot. Bucks cannot catch a break here. It seems like they keep getting close to getting a big break, but Indiana inbounding with 1:27 left. Bengals are picking. See if I can catch it.
Chris Jenkins.
All right, Chris Jenkins, the
Big
second
upside.
Chris Jenkins.
Back to back, big upside interior guys.
Again, trenches continue to dominate this NFL draft. Chris Jenkins, when I, hear that he's getting drafted, that's one of those like, holy shit, I'm old moments. I remember his dad dominating for the Panthers.
Might as well be another offensive rebound for Indiana.
Yeah, I saw that. Bucks foul, couldn't secure a rebound.
Middleton gets blown by instead of boxing out.
Yep, this is it's almost a joke at this point. If they win this game, this is a pull it out of your ass game because I wouldn't say they necessarily deserve it. They took a Middleton miracle to get him to this point, but why not try to steal ones? You made it this far. Big shot. Was that Nemhard?
No.
Neesmith?
Sorry, talking to the kids.
Okay. Sorry, I've got a very small window with this Bucks game open, so now I'm doing play-by-play. This is this is illegal, but
You're doing everything.
whatever. Middleton at the 3-point line, coming up to the elbow, trying to back down the defender. Horrible shot, misses horribly to the right, and Indiana has the ball. Tie game. Anyways, like I said before, the trenches here is the story. To me, this is indicative of a draft that these GMs are not seeing the blue chipper upside in the skill position guys that maybe we all would like to think. Because typically the trenches guys, those are the ones that are safe. Indiana with a big 3-pointer, wide fucking open. Naturally, Bucks down 3 with 14 seconds left. This one is going to sting for sure.
Can we talk about, and the Bucks do this so many times. And they've done it for years. Do they forget who the best player on the floor is?
I mean, that is just as wide open gets. That's practice shot for Neesmith there. The solace that I take is that Indiana, I think, is going to win this series and just get absolutely fucking destroyed in the second round. But they are a team that they definitely have not been there before, but they act like they've never been there before. So this is their NBA championship. The in-season tournament was already their NBA championship this year. And but people didn't want to listen. I said this is a tough matchup for Milwaukee. They're just full of young guys that get up and down the floor. They play at an amazing pace. Bucks always, every single year, have the oldest team in the league. I saw somebody on Twitter tonight say, well, it just sucks that injuries have the last 5 years, really, the Bucks always are unlucky when it comes to injuries. And I think you can't say it's luck when, if you're going to consistently be the oldest team in the league, you're probably going to be dealing with some injuries down the stretch. All right, Pittsburgh on the clock, creeping up towards Green Bay's pick. We are now at pick number 51. Green Bay picking at 58.
Wow, I totally misread that. I'm like, wait a second, somebody just draft 3 Wolverines?
Well, it was the corner. Do you want to help me with the pronunciation?
Sane was still, he's very short.
Yeah, the Ahmad Carroll of this year's class, perhaps.
Very, very short.
All right, Bucks inbounding. They're able to get it to Dame, who is being sweated. Double team on Dame. Middleton for 3. And he banks in a 3-pointer. This game is fucking bonkers right now. This game is on crack.
I honestly, I know I used to be like Bucks guy, season tickets, all that shit. I can't do it anymore. It's so bad.
I think you're choosing not to, Eric.
I try. I just can't do it. I'm like, God, this is painful.
I mean, if you can't get behind your team winning a title, maybe you're right. Because I remember you didn't really watch much when they went on that run, did you?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I would rather watch a high A baseball game than Bucks.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Come
sorry.
on now. I think
I'm dead serious. I would.
You just put that out into the world. I think that might be you admitting that you have a problem. You have a
would.
baseball problem.
If they don't win a game that Middleton has 42, they're not winning the series.
I could. Yeah, you may be right there. I may have a baseball problem.
Well, that's better than a lot of problems that we as adults can have. So I think we can allow it. All right. So it's a timeout still, 6.7 left. Middleton balling the fuck out tonight. As Andy just said, if you can't pull this one off, like, man, it's just not your year. You can't win a first round game when Chris Middleton has 42. All right, let me pull this up here.
At what point do we start talking about the Bucks as like the 1990s Atlanta Braves, where they win the division almost every year?
Well, to me,
Whimper in the playoffs.
I think they're the 90s Packers. You got your one championship, and then you're trying to not be a fart in the wind, as Ron Wolf once famously coined it.
Exactly what the Braves did.
You know, Brett Favre and Giannis, I think there's a lot of parallels as far as athletes, not as people, but phenomenal individual accolades, one championship perhaps, and that's it. All right, Halliburton having the ball, came out of the backcourt,
Yeah.
and he just won the game.
Until this is over.
1.6 left. Tyrese Halliburton
Well, I didn't
hits a runner,
2.5 hours.
Wasn't gone for 2.5 hours.
and the Bucks have 1.6 left with one timeout. Oh, Halliburton got fouled too. Cool.
Because of course they fouled him. Of course they fouled him.
They did not double team him. It just kind of let him get into the paint and throw up a floater.
You gotta love Middleton on that one too. That just decides he's gonna body up Siakam at the top of the at the midcourt line. Just wrestling match Siakam at the midcourt line instead of. You know,
I'm gonna back off for a little bit. I gotta give the dog a bath, and I'll be back when I'm done.
Hey, that is not a nice thing to say about Tara.
She heard you. She's literally right here, Jake.
I was hoping she would hear me. Hi, Tara.
All right, man. I'll
All
be
right,
right
we'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right. NFL draft coverage goes on hold here. Let's watch the Bucks lose this. Down 3. I would hope Indiana doesn't make the same mistake twice of not fouling as soon as the ball is inbounded. That's a classic Bucks thing, at least the Jason Kidd thing. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers select the center from West Virginia, Zach Frazier. I might have to pull up the results here just to see how many offensive and defensive line guys have been picked so far, because this is nuts. All right. Trying to stick with the end of this game. If the Bucks do lose this series, I don't know. I feel like you have to make wholesale changes. All right, let me.
I mean, it's just over coaching too. I mean, Dame's not on the. I mean, I know he's not the best defender, but how do you take your best player off the court in that scenario? I mean, even if he's not the best defender, those guys make plays when they need to make plays. You cannot take your best player off the court in that scenario. Essentially, your captain right now too.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've been less than impressed with the Doc Rivers experience so far. All right, Bucks about to inbound here. Let's see what happens. Can they even get a shot off?
Can they even get the ball in?
Middleton bricks the 3, and the Bucks lose game 3. That's an ouch. Tyrese Halliburton and his ugly fucking face screaming. Don't need to see that. That is an ugly son of a bitch right there. So, as I was just mentioning about this draft, we had 12 trench guys picked in the first round. And then I don't see results for the second round yet, but quite a few in the second round so far. Yeah, it's, again, to me, it's indicative of just aren't seen as these high upside guys that maybe we as fans think. And yeah, we'll see if the trend continues. We're at pick 52, waiting for the pick announcement for the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so 58 coming up. Who do you think they're looking at? I mean, I think a guy that we talked about in the second round, Marshawn Nealon. I'm just going to comb my beard here.
Yeah, let's see here. We've got Nealand. We've got Cole Bishop. Don't sleep on them. They do overdraft running backs. Don't sleep on them picking like a Trey Benson right here.
Sure. Perhaps even a Braylon Allen, which I'm sure would make a lot of Packer fans happy. But
Too early for Braylon Allen for me, but
yeah, I mean, I think so. When you consider that he's not going to be like your bell cow back, he's probably more of a specialist, short yardage and a pass protection guy. But he's the youngest player in the draft, an absolute RAS monster, and we know how they feel about those guys. All right, let's go to the pick for Indianapolis.
I'm a 7th round pick, man. I ain't even supposed to be standing on this stage right now, man. Shout out to all the guys. I just want to take this moment to just give a special shout out, rest in peace to Corey Cunningham, rest in peace to Vontae Davis. We got to love and support our players much longer after they walk across this stage and they playing days are done. You know, I just want to give a round of applause to all the players. With that being said, with the 52nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas. Let's do it.
All right, so a big drop for Adonai Mitchell, big upside guy, wide receiver from Texas. I think he had a lot of up and down quarterback play, but nearly a perfect 10 on the RAS scale. So some athletic upside there. And yeah, we'll see if he can build a connection with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. So they're at least attempting to give him that big upside weapon there. I like that pick for them. I mean, really at 52, that's pretty good value for a receiver with the upside. One of the guys that I mentioned before the draft that, you know, not a lot of people would see a wide receiver coming, but maybe Green Bay would.
I was just thinking about him to Green Bay if he fell to 58. It would be
Sure.
all right, I gotta be bounced for a little bit. I'll be back by the Packers pick.
All right, sounds good. So I'm gonna roll solo here for a little bit. If anybody's still watching, what a brutal end to the Bucs game, and I don't know, perhaps a bad omen for what is to come, both in the short term and the long term for our beloved Milwaukee Bucks. You hate to say it, but I think if you want to maximize the time that you have left with Giannis, you can't continue to go into every season the oldest team in the league. What's really, really disturbing to me about them being the oldest team in the league is you would think that they would be such a fundamentally sound team if you're going to have that kind of experience level. I haven't seen it. I don't see the defensive effort. I see a lot of lapses on defense. The most frustrating thing, and even before tonight, but this was just like a perfect example. This is a team that doesn't really put a lot of effort onto the rebounding side of the ball on the defensive end. I mean, I remember being in elementary school, some of my first basketball practices, and when the ball goes up, you find a body, you put your ass into them, you box out. I've watched it all year. They don't do it. They just kind of stand flat-footed and wait for the ball to come to them. And that's not just like your role players. That's guys like Giannis. That's guys like Brook Lopez that, you know, Bobby Portis even. You're expected to be the ones to carry the team on that end of the court. So, yeah, this is a bummer. I love my NFL draft coverage, but when you watch a game end like that, it's hard to try to stay positive and stay excited about what's going on. I'll probably chill out for a few more minutes here. If anybody wants to jump on, that'd be awesome, and have somebody else to be depressed with me. So feel free to jump in. As we speak, Green Bay is 5 picks away, at least according to the live coverage that I'm watching on ESPN. The Washington Commanders Their pick is in at number 53. So we are creeping up on our second round pick of the day, assuming Green Bay does not trade that pick. I'd love to see. I did not see what the return was for that trade that Green Bay made to trade back. I'm going to try to find that quick. This is going to be riveting stuff for anybody that might be watching. All right, let's see. All right. Can't see what the compensation was here, but I do see that Yahoo Sports gave the Packers pick of Edgerrin Cooper at 45 a C. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. You have somebody as freakishly athletic as him and as productive as him. You get him at the 45th pick at a position of need. I don't see how that's anything lower than a B. So be better. Let's see if we can find some more. All right, so to move back from 41, Green Bay traded away the 41st pick and number 146. Green Bay received picks 45, 131, and let's see, we got here 168 and 190. So pretty much virtually an even trade as far as the trade value chart go, and I totally misread that. So they traded back from 41 to 45, picking up 168 and 190. Okay, I think that's more of a consensus. So, yeah, a little bit more ammunition to play with for Brian Gutekunst. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Twixer. Yeah, somebody commenting. I had brought up earlier at the beginning of night 2, Commissioner Goodell mentioned that Detroit had 275,000 people yesterday at the NFL draft. Green Bay is getting the draft next year. When I heard that number, I'm not as bullish about going to the draft next year. I don't necessarily want to be in a sea of 275,000 people. But let's go to the selection here for Washington.
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Ben Sinnott.
Wow. That's pretty high. Ben Sinnott from Kansas State, the tight end. To my knowledge, second tight end off the board after Brock Bowers. Kind of I don't know, you could call him a jack of all trades, master of none. Wife just popped in to give me a dirty look, so that was fun. She's not as into the draft as I am. But yeah, small school guy. Again, this is a beauty is in the eye of the beholder pick. So perhaps somebody that will be a solid backup for you. I don't necessarily see like a top end Pro Bowl talent. So this year's tight end class is very much the opposite of last year's, where you had a lot of guys that went second round, third round, that in a lot of other years, you're talking about top of the position type players. We saw it with Green Bay picking up 2 really, really high end prospects, and Luke Musgrave, and then in Tucker Kraft. So yeah, this kind of a surprise to me. I don't know. I suppose once you get into middle of the second, pretty much through the rest of the draft, it's tough to say it's a surprise because the variance in the different draft boards amongst all the GMs is going to be so high or so different. So with that, the Browns are now on the clock at pick number 54. Green Bay's pick at 58 is creeping up. I wonder if we will get our first go to commercial while Green Bay's pick is announced. That seems to be the tradition. I can't remember if they do that in the second round, or maybe they start that in round 3 where they'll actually announce the picks during commercials. So we'll see. But if they do it in round 2, we will probably be the first team. So Cleveland's representative is now walking to the podium. Let's see who they picked.
I'm very proud to be representing my Cleveland Browns tonight. It's especially meaningful for me because they drafted me in 2016. It's very meaningful for me because I'm here with Peggy Reisky, the founder and CEO of the Trevor Project. They do incredible work for crisis intervention for our LGBTQ youth, and it's really, really a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you for the Browns for having us. Thank you for the NFL for the continued support of me, of Peggy, of Trevor Project. So let's get down to business. With the 54th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Michael Hall, Ohio State defensive tackle.
Another guy in the trenches, Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle from Ohio State, a guy who had been linked to Green Bay. I believe they brought him in on one of their official top 30 visits. Athletic freak on the inside. Some people compare him athletically to somebody like an Aaron Donald. I don't know if I'd go that far. I have a guest. That was interesting. All right, Eric's back. Eric, you just missed it. Michael Hall Jr., guy linked to Green Bay, goes to Cleveland with pick number 54. Potentially somebody they could have taken at 58. So
Yeah, good player. Really good player. A lot more flash than sustainability. Really disruptive. Probably plays the pass a little bit better than the run.
yeah, I mean, I said he profiles a lot athletically to somebody like an Aaron Donald. Obviously, not nearly the same production. But yeah, I think Green Bay will be looking to add somebody in that vein, with Kenny Clark being a free agent after this coming season. And I really, really just believe that we're probably seeing the last season of Kenny Clark in Green Bay.
Probably. I think that's probably a fair. Let me get caught up here.
I mean, Kenny Clark is young enough to where maybe you take the plunge, but they typically don't give out those third contracts. They did it with Bakhtiari, and it absolutely bit him in the ass. So maybe they're going, that's not happening again.
Kind of surprised. Board's still pretty strong. A lot of people that are on the spectrum are probably not going to be somebody that we would take. Peyton Wilson, Junior Colson, Cedric Gray, a couple of our favorites on the board here coming up at 58. Cole Bishop, your guy. Blake Fisher, my guy. Jaden Hicks is somebody that Packers Twitter absolutely loves.
Yeah, he's more of a in-the-box type safety, big athletic guy. I don't think he has a lot of hips in him.
No.
More of a straight line player, but I think with Xavier McKinney, it gives you a little bit more versatility to develop a guy like that.
Yeah, if you want to look at not on that Hicks kind of angle, the two guys that are more of the fluidity kind of guys are Javon Bullard, Cole Bishop, Kalen Bullock. Depends. He's kind of a safe, low ceiling, high floor kind of guy.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually looking at some of the results here.
Patrick Paul, that's somebody that visited us.
So there was 12 guys in the first round that were either offensive or defensive linemen, and we have 9 in the second round so far out of 21 picks. So 21 so far out of 54 have been on the offensive or defensive line. So make it 22. Patrick Paul, offensive tackle from Houston, big, tall guy, long, athletic, goes to the Miami Dolphins at pick number 55. So we are Dallas at 56, Tampa at 57, and Green Bay will be picking after that.
And we're probably getting into that territory like we talked about. Like this is all going to be flavor stuff, right? This is all going to be who fits your scheme.
Yeah, and
Jaden Hicks is somebody that Packers Twitter absolutely loves. I don't necessarily see the fit with McKinney.
yeah, I like Bishop a little bit more than Hicks if you're going to safety here. But I also can see the thought process of getting a little bit bigger guy that you can play sometimes on the tight ends, put him in the box. By the way, I don't know if you saw your boy Joey Ortiz with his first career home run a while ago,
nice.
about 10 minutes ago. Tied the game at 2. So Brewers, Yankees. Do a little play-by-play for them too, although I'm a little bit drained after that Bucks experience.
Oh, did they choke it away?
Yeah, it was a rough attempt by Middleton, falling away again. Just didn't have a chance on this one. So yeah, I haven't pulled up the numbers yet, but I'm really, really interested to see what the rebounding numbers look like for that game, because this has been a theme for Milwaukee all year, that just the offensive rebounding that you give up, and it's not your length, your size that's allowing it. It's literally just been effort. To me, that's just bad coaching and bad fundamentals. So, Jesus Christ. The Pacers had 19 offensive rebounds tonight. Just unacceptable if you're a team with championship aspirations, which I have given up on the championship aspiration thing. It's just not their year.
That's a cheese and rice situation for sure.
Yeah.
So coming into this at 58, people I'd be looking at Brandon Dorless, Marshawn Nealand, Jalix Hunt.
Do you think this is too early for a running back?
No. Depends. It's all flavor at this point. So it's what your board's gonna, what you feel like is gonna get you the most value. I would attack. Honestly, I could see Green Bay moving back from 58, getting to the 60-ish range, and pick something else up.
Yeah, I was able to track down what the return was for that trade, and it looks like I misread it at first, so I might have to bring that back up actually. But I don't know, if you keep trading back, how many picks can you really end up with? And then at some point, do you just start going, okay, we'll trade one of our fifths for a fourth next year and start, stockpiling for the following.
You could do that. Last year was probably the first year that I can imagine that, or that I can remember that they carried 2 or 3 people that were special teams only players that did not play a snap on defense, that only played special teams. Zane Anderson, there's a linebacker, I can't think of his name, not right, white dude. They carried a lot of guys that did not fit kind of the Green Bay model of being able to do multiple things. I think you can carry more picks going in. I think they're only at 81 players too on their 90.
Well, Gutekunst joked about 11 picks is nice, 13 or 14 would be better. They're now at 13 picks. And I did, so they traded 41 for 45, 168, and 190. That's kind of a sting. It stings a little bit. That's about dead even on the trade value chart. But the Saints, the Colts moved up to the following pick number 46. And the Colts moved down. This is so confusing to read. The Colts moved down from pick 46 to 52 and picked up 142 and 155 in the process. So, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. They got a much better deal. So, yeah.
46 to 52 is a bigger fall than 41 to 45, though.
Well, I mean, value-wise, it's a much bigger deal. I'd have to pull up the exact points because obviously, as you descend, the picks lose value a little bit
Right.
more. But to get 142 and 155 to move up 6 picks, that's a pretty damn good deal. Or move back 6 picks, I should say. Cowboys pick is in. Let's see. As soon as we get somebody at the stage, I'll go ahead and turn her up. Might be going to
Your work
commercial.
is done. All right. Excuse me.
Andrew's back. Looks like somebody's panties are behind him. Oh, there he is.
There we go.
All right. So you're just in time for Dallas to roll out their pick.
Take a running back.
They already did. They took no. Brooks went to where did Brooks go? Brooks
Carolina.
Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, probably. This is probably your Jalen Wright, Lloyd,
Trey
Benson territory.
All right.
Ironically, the
Texas or Oklahoma backs to be taken here. So
the line for Braylon Allen, the plus minus for him moved pretty significantly. He was a pretty decent payout to be outside the top 100 going into today at the end of the day yesterday, and the line moved to it actually being a negative for him going in the top 100 today.
Yeah. Me and Andy talked about it when you had stepped away that, it could be in play there. It's maybe a little rich, but again, it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Running backs being in play for Green Bay in the next 2 picks here.
A couple other veterans that are joining me on stage.
We're still going through the intros here, so we can.
I like
Hold on.
Braylon Allen in pass pro. I like him catching stuff out of the backfield. I just don't see him being a dynamic player in the NFL.
Yeah, and at this point in the draft, I don't know if you can expect that.
Well, Jalen Ryan, I think, is a much better prospect.
Well, he's definitely the home run threat. I worry about if he's a little bit too slight.
Yeah, and he ran into his tape. He did not run into a lot of run defense.
I got you. Still going through intros as we wait for the Dallas pick.
There's probably two 3-down backs left, or at least make an argument for them in Lloyd and Benson. Outside of that, now you're talking about specialty sub-package kind of guys. But you have a 3-down back already who's only 26.
We wait.
Damn it.
All right, Eric's clearly ahead of us, so Marshawn Nealon is my guess.
Dallas Cowboys select Marshawn Nealon.
There you go. So there's the edge rusher. A lot of potential. Small school guy. Can you
Dominated.
get a diamond out of the rough here?
Dominated. When you take small school guys, you want to see them absolutely destroy their competition, and Nealon did. He destroyed competition.
They just showed a highlight of him running track in high school. He looked like Dwight Schrute running, so hopefully he's improved his technique a little bit.
There's another guy that kind of fits the same mold as Nealon, Jalix Hunt, small school guy, dominated, tested a little bit better than Nealon did.
All right, so let's see now. We are at pick number 57, so we are 1 pick away, potentially, from Green Bay picking if they don't trade away the pick. Who are you guys feeling at this point? I'm going to go with my heart and say Cole Bishop. But I guess my heart pick is Cole Bishop. My brain, what does my brain tell me? Not much right now. What are you guys thinking?
I think it's going to be a
Trying to get
defensive
gotta
end.
get caught up with who is picked here.
Sure.
I'm going to say Brandon Dorless.
So I'm cheating, and I'm looking at their top 30 visits too.
Yep, that plays a part of it. A lot of those guys have come off the board recently. So Nealon, Michael Hall Jr., to name a couple.
Yep. Mason
Dorless
Smith.
visited too.
Mason
Also came
Smith
off
as
the
well.
You could go Austin Booker here if you're looking at one of their top 30s. That would be roughly in this range. I mean, he'd probably be close to the other pick too.
I'm going to throw a name out there that's going to surprise some people, and it's going to go for a shock and awe factor. Let me just make sure he's still on the board.
I think Caleb Williams already went.
Jermaine Burton.
That is a shock and awe pick because I can't picture the prospect.
Wide receiver, Alabama.
Wide receiver,
Oh,
Alabama.
okay, that's right. Well, I mean, if they went wide out, are there really those RAS guys on the board left? I thought Mitchell was the last one really to go as far as like
You've got Devontae Walker still.
that's
He's also took a 30.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of who's on the board at this spot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe you trade back again, but man, I would really just the feeling of this draft so far. If we're looking at 2 trade backs and what the talent that has gone just before these picks, as Gutekunst might be getting schooled a little bit here.
Oh.
The tight end, Theo Johnson. He's
There's-
another guy on the board. You also have who's
There's
the
a
H
very
back guy?
glaring name that we talked about during our mock that's on the board that checks a ton of boxes.
Well, he said Cole Bishop earlier.
Blake Fisher.
They already went offensive line, though. You think they're going to double up this early?
Yeah, I think you may.
Cooper Beebe, perhaps.
You could. Depends on your faith in Sean Ryan.
Christian Mahogany hangs out with Merlin Olsen from time to time and eats an entire wheel of cheese. All right, I tried.
I know. I caught it.
Okay. Well, we didn't get commercial during the Packers pick, but we did get commercial just before the Packers
And
pick.
it's been
So
a hell of a commercial.
yeah, they must have fallen behind with that Cowboys pick that was like 14 minutes long.
I'm enjoying the Zen.
Lucky you. I'm just refreshing Twitter, seeing everybody melt down about the Bucks game.
Oh,
People are mad at me for some reason because I've not been Middleton's biggest fan, and he had a great game, but they still lost. So, like, I think they're mad that they can't really rub it in my face.
and that might be the other thing that like put me out on NBA. NBA Twitter is insufferable.
Yeah, it's pretty toxic.
It is so bad.
All right. I finally decided. I know I probably used up all my time on the clock. I like Brandon Dorlius here from Oregon.
All right, so you and Eric with the same pick, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, I'm just going to stick with my heart and say Cole Bishop. Although they did not bring in Bishop on a top 30, did they?
They did not. Now, I will say the other thing that's interesting, specifically at safety,
Jaden Hicks?
according to the draft boards from the mock, the highest rated safety they brought in was Keaton Oladapo from Oregon State at 154. I mean, everything that they said is telling you that they're not taking a DB early.
Yeah, and, you know, they had a guy that fell last year in Anthony Johnson Jr. I remember seeing him mocked in second rounds. A lot of times they got him, I believe, in the 6th, maybe the 7th round. And I think he played pretty well as a rookie. Maybe they really, really believe in him. And as we have talked about multiple times, yet we still ignore, they generally think 2 to 3 steps ahead, 2 to 3 years ahead. So it's not necessarily we need a starter at this position. They may already have that guy in mind, and now we're talking down the line. Oh, here's the pick.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Chris Braswell from Alabama linebacker.
All right, the other edge guy from Alabama, Chris Braswell, comes off the board. So, yeah, edge rusher goes. A lot of ways Green Bay can go here. You got Jaden Hicks, you got Cole Bishop, you got Dorlius, as you guys mentioned.
I know we always think that the Packers could use another pass rusher, but in my opinion, Braswell was never in play to be that guy. He's too small to play in Green Bay's new scheme at 250.
Yeah, Braswell's tiny. He's got shorter arms too, 6'3", 250. He's more 3'4" than he is 4'3".
Yep. But yeah, I mean, if you look at specifically, I know a lot of people got obsessed with Cooper DeJean for Green Bay. If you look at who they brought in on visits and everything they've done this offseason, everything was pointing to the fact that they were not going to take a DB early. The only one they brought in that was in the top 100 was Kool-Aid.
Green Bay's pick is in. Wait, are we the first pick that they're not going to announce? No, they announce all the second rounders.
They do.
Question: Did the other Penn State edge guy come off the board yet?
No, Adisa Isaac.
Okay, just looking at some of the names that at edge that potentially fit their mold. Yeah, you'd be going pretty far down the board if you're looking for
All
their
right,
types.
Balaga, let us know.
All right, as soon as I see that big round head, I will turn up the volume and we will do this together. Braylon Trice, perhaps, as far as a
Austin
nice-
Booker they brought in.
All right, Eric likes the pick. Let's hear who it is.
The Green Bay Packers select Javon Bullard, defensive back.
Okay, safety, Javon Bullard.
You just drafted 3 starters in your first 3 picks.
You think they start in year one? I don't. Maybe Morgan starts in year one.
I think he's going
Cooper
talking
I think
about
definitely
right?
starts.
right guard. He's probably going to be in a competition for right guard, right tackle. If you're going to move Tom inside,
So
depends on how much of faith you got in Sean Ryan, right?
I had this thought when I left last night, actually. So Morgan, I don't think there's any chance he's going to start at right guard because he's played on the left side his whole career, coming into a new NFL, new scheme, new speed. He's going to be on the left side. I think there's a possibility that Elgin moves to the right guard. And then
That
we
could be.
play-
He's
we
played
play Morgan at
every
left guard.
position.
There's
That is
also
a
a
distinct
possibility
possibility.
that Morgan starts at left tackle and Walker moves to the swing.
So, a couple things on Javon Bullard. He does not register a RAS score this year just by not doing enough measurements. Small guy, 5'10", under 200 pounds. So that's a little different than what Green Bay has done.
Yeah, but you can hide that, right?
What's that?
You can hide him. You can hide that size as a safety. There's a position that you can hide somebody that's short.
His ran the 40 and 4.47. Decent 10 and 20 yard splits. Did not test agility wise, so that's kind of surprising. Eric's guy Blake Fisher goes to the Houston Texans at 59.
Yeah, big fan.
Underrated prospect, probably.
Very underrated prospect.
The thing about Bullard that I like as a compliment to McKinney is that it takes the pressure off McKinney to be the box guy. Like he was never going to be the box guy, but he was the best player. He's the best player in the secondary now. So you got to play them where they were, but now Bullard can step in and just be that box guy for them.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta grab my charger for the laptop. So you guys keep going. But I do want to point out, it just dawned on me. There's the Georgia connection again. They love their Georgia defenders. Green Bay loves Georgia defenders the way I love Iowa defenders.
Now the one thing that Bullard does make me question as a slot guy in the NFL is can he cover a tight end at 5'11"?
No, but you have
But you expect safeties to cover tight ends right now in the NFL.
McKinney that does that. You also have 2 in
Maybe I'm still jaded from the years where we just, let the offense dictate who was going to guard who and not
so
ever.
in 2022 Bullard played 510 snaps in the slot. His next closest snap count was in the box at 64. In 2023, he moved and split it a little bit more. 362 snaps in deep safety, 80 snaps in the box, 144 snaps in the slot. So it looks like he's played a significant amount of time covering slot. So to what Goody talked about in a lot of these pressers, a lot of these guys are interchangeable.
Yeah.
His play style is very similar to what McKinney does.
I was just going to mention that, Eric, that you're going to see scenarios where when it's more of those 50-50 running passing plays, I bet you see Nixon come off and Bullard play the slot, just being a better tackler.
Yep.
It's kind of like I compare it to, and we've talked about this before in baseball. Everybody thinks there's the starting 9, but really you start 4 outfielders. 4 outfielders get starting at bats over the course of a season. You're going to play 4. This is what you're going to see in the NFL now too, where you're just going to see the rotation guys come in, especially at positions like this where we can be matchup specific now. We can be dynamic.
Well, quick update. Brewers take a 2-run lead a few minutes ago. Blake Perkins hits a tater out the stadium. 4-2 Brewers. What a find Blake Perkins has been. My God.
Former first-round pick, was a legit prospect, was a serious high school player. I think he was, perfect game. I want to say had him as a top 2 or top 3 outfielder in the recruiting class that he was coming into college.
Really?
With.
How old is Perkins?
25, maybe?
Wow.
24, 25?
I was going to quiz Eric about 3 first-round picks on the Brewers, thinking he wouldn't get Perkins, but then he just rattles it off. So, because he's, an MLB draft junkie. So I was like, what's the point of being – there's 3 first-round picks on the Brewers on a
27.
25.
He's 27.
Okay. I mean, hey, whatever.
My birthday, so he's going to be 28.
And then let me quiz you on this. How many years before he's free agent? I'm just giving you shit.
He's probably got 2 years of service time.
Well, maybe this is just an aberration, but if he's the real deal, they're going to have some real problems figuring out this roster.
He's pre-arb, so he's definitely at least 4.
Okay. Let's talk Brewers for a little bit as the picks stream in.
He's free agent eligible according to Baseball Reference in 2030. He only has 133 days of service time. He hasn't even hit 1 yet.
Wow. So if he's a real thing, hey, sometimes you got to just find those diamonds.
I think we got to pump the brakes there a little bit. We did think there was last year we were having conversations of did they find something in Andrew Montecero? So
no, but I don't know if I agree as far as like the upside. I think maybe we thought we found a utility guy.
And Eric, I don't mean to correct you. According to Baseball Reference, Perkins was a 2nd-round pick.
Oh, could have swore he was a first. My bad.
Really wish you weren't a liar.
Yeah,
my bad.
Lie.
I got one wrong. Sorry, guys.
You're retired from baseball.
Yeah.
In the 2024 NFL Draft,
oh no!
The Buffalo Bills select Cole Bishop, DB.
Yeah, I can't have nice things. There goes my other guy, Cole Bishop, safety from Utah. But, they picked the safety that they liked, not the safety I liked. But, yeah, if you get a chance to watch this kid's tape, he's fun. He looks like Rick the Model Martel, if you have any old school WWF fans here. Yes, I am a model. Great. I mean, God, I loved him. I was so into this guy. I'm thinking, if DeJean's off the board, do we look at him at 25? Maybe a little rich, but
he's probably the best. Besides CDJ, he's probably number 2 on that combo spectrum of DB, just being a pure DB, like covering slot, playing multiple positions. There's another guy that's going to go way, way, way later. That's really lean, Jalen Simpson from Auburn, who played a ton of slot, played some safety. He's only like 6'1", 175, 178, somewhere in that range. Really, really good slot player. Bullard's the other guy. It's your flavor. We're at that point of in the draft that what fits your scheme and what your flavor is of what you want to do is the people that you're going to take. Some guys are going to go way earlier than any of the draft industrial complex is going to talk about. All
right, Barry's out there for the Lions pick here.
Go running back.
I have to say, all of you have really made a difference in this year's draft. I appreciate you. To announce the pick in this year's draft for the Lions, Mayor Mike Duggins.
I'm like literally a minute or two ahead of you.
It's a thrill to be here with Barry Sanders.
Interesting. I'm also watching on YouTube TV.
I ever saw. And a special thank you to everybody here who came from
So,
across
quick
the
aside,
and across the United
when they
States.
announced 275,000 people, I don't think I'm going to the draft anymore.
The NFL draft. It's a great time to be in Detroit. And with the 61st pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Ennis Rakestraw Jr., defensive back, Missouri.
All right, so the corner from Missouri
Double
goes
up.
to the Lions. We've got a couple picks left here before we call it a night.
Detroit doubled up a corner.
That's an old school Packers move.
Yeah, Terrion Arnold and Rakestraw.
Oh, the year they drafted 3 of them, and the last one turned out to be the best one.
Well, they did that multiple times because we had Ahmad Carroll, Joey Thomas, and God, it's going to drive me crazy that I can't remember the other guy.
Mike McKenzie.
No, wasn't McKenzie before them? McKenzie was holding out, and that's why we drafted those guys. But then you had Demarius Randall, Josh Jackson. That did not turn out great.
Yeah, Josh Jackson was like the Kuiper guy.
Iowa, Iowa defender. It's like the one guy that didn't pan out from Iowa.
This dude right here plays a lot like, I would say the profile is very similar to Josh Jackson. Slow, not a ton of production,
Well, that's good. He's a Lion.
light, under 6 foot. You go back to that mindset of Green Bay has their tight. They're not going to take a corner under 6 foot. Or if they do, it's going to be late.
Well, they took Jair. I guess he's right around that, around
Yeah, it's
6
like the
feet.
one time it worked.
Sure. Well, the one time they did it and it worked. They've got a lot of not so great picks that were over 6 feet since that. So maybe it's time to, I don't know, change the thought process there.
I'm going to give him a pass on Stokes. That's a tough one because he flashed a ton his rookie year. And then
Yeah.
just the injuries, man.
Well, even someone like a Demarius Randall, which wasn't he a Ted guy anyways, but, you know,
He was 5'11".
yeah. And, you know, once Cleveland got a little bit out of him once he moved over to the Browns.
They moved him to safety.
Yeah. All right, let's see the Ravens pick here. Future Hall of Famer incoming.
2024 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens select Roger Rosengarten, tackle.
All right, another offensive lineman, Roger Rosengarten, Packer type.
Very
Maybe
much.
a little bit taller than a typical Packer type, but not by much. I mean, he's right in there.
I know that college football has become top heavy lately. It's always shocking to me how many guys go like left and right tackle go in the draft the same year, and they're both like top
You're
day
saying
2
like
picks or
teammates.
higher. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and you always wonder, and it always makes me nervous. Alabama defenders for a long time made me nervous because is it them or is it a sum of their parts? Does their other players allow them to play fast and make mistakes? I love the fact that you can just see the Ravens' whole draft board right now, by the way.
They did that yesterday, I think, for Buffalo. San Francisco has traded the 63rd pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. So did
Move
the
back
Kansas City
one?
move up one pick?
The one pick.
Okay. Good on them. All right, I'm going to play a clip of Javon Bullard here.
Wait, did you play the Leggett clip?
Not yet. Well, I think we'll end with that, but I'm going to, since it's topical right now, we're going to get Javon. Screen.
Grisham just hit a 3-run bomb. Yankees lead.
Let's see here. All right, let's listen to Javon talk.
I'm a fucking Packer!
How does Rosenhaus get everywhere? Creep.
Dude's got a private jet that can do that kind of shit. Let's log his carbon emissions. By the way, earlier when I said I had to give my dog a bath, I missed a unique opportunity to show. I bathe my dogs instead of Christy Nome shooting her dogs. So
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
you missed that?
No, what happened?
Christy Nome literally shot her dog because she didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I missed that.
You look at political Twitter and
That's another thing you just want to stay off of, like NBA
With the
Twitter.
63 pick in the 24
Ooh.
draft, Kansas City select Kinsley Suamaiia from BYU.
Messiah.
All right. Big offensive tackle comes off the board. A little bit of a fall, I would say. I think a lot of people picked him at like beginning of round 2, maybe even in some cases end of round 1. But what do we got? One more pick.
Yeah, are you just doing round 2 and then you're popping off? Is that what you're doing?
For some reason, I thought it was just round 2 tonight, but that's right. We're at
2-3.
yeah. I might leave it to you guys, and then I'll go take a shower.
That's fine.
It's just a hangout. I got nothing going on.
No, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
I'll be-
kill some
I'll be-
werewolves and watch the Packers.
You say kill some werewolves?
Yeah, man.
So are bullets.
Ah, gotcha. Well played.
Kill some werewolves and watch the Packers get great.
Let's see if I can find that Xavier Leggett clip here.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking stoked for this. This is literally the greatest thing I've heard in a long time. I'm so excited for this.
I can't find it. Oh, here it is. All right. Let me pause
So
that.
good. This is fucking gold. I'm gonna move closer just so I can embellish.
All right, let's see here. Close that one out. This is all for you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. This is fucking gold.
All right, here we go.
Xavier, you woke up a Carolina Panther. Did you have to pinch yourself?
Say it one more time.
Woke up a Carolina Panther this morning. Did you have to pinch yourself a little bit?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them to be ready.
Right, when you got the call, because I saw the emotion in your face in the video, but what were those emotions?
Overly excited my whole time, and I really trying to hold my tears in for real, man. I told my folks I wasn't gonna crack. I was trying to be tough guy, but man, I was really over excited.
All right, now I have to find more clips of this guy. Let's bear with me. Let's find some more. That was good. All right. Looks like a lot of people were sharing that clip.
That's boom hour, man.
Dangle football, man. Grab that ball and run on the field and hit the
No,
field.
honey, Foxy's not down here.
Middle.
I don't see Foxy. You can come look. Yeah, Foxy's down here.
Man, I'll be right down the road. It'll be a little easier for my family to come watch me play, so that'll be great. That's just them telling me that they want me on their team, man. A lot of coaches came and hollered at me before and after this process here, man. A lot of them, man, they say they got a buzz in their facility for me, man, and I'm just ready to see where I'm going to land.
That was pretty good. Oh, there's got to be more.
Overly excited my whole time, and I really trying to hold my tears in for real, man. I told my folks I wasn't gonna crack. I was trying to be tough guy, but man, I was really overexcited. When I got out of the car, just seeing all the fans, and they showed me that they happy that I was the pick. So man, it really haven't hit me yet, man. But I'm starting to feel it as the day keep going. A year ago, man, I wasn't on anybody's board, but I never let that get to me, man. I just knew I had an extra year, and I knew this was the do or die season for me, man. I had to do it or go home. Overly excited, man. Whole time, and
Oh,
I really trying
man.
to hold my tears in.
Good kid.
Oh,
That's good
it's
stuff.
so good. I want him to be so good now.
Yeah, that easy to cheer for a guy like that. All right, we're back. Taking a long time for this Niners pick. Let's see who's going to F our A's in the playoffs coming up.
Yeah, they're tick tick tick. Their time is dwindling down, man.
Oh, wow. Trent Grisham crushed that thing. That was a no-doubter.
Would you be surprised if they went like Trey Benson here just to take some load off McCarthy for the season?
No, but their defense is up for contracts.
This is a team, when you mentioned that, yeah, I forget how many free agents. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen them kind of trade back more or just try to acquire those picks. Could be an all or nothing type thing.
Yeah, if you look at their contract status going into next year, it's not pretty. They're going to have to pay Purdy not next year, but the following. Their window is rapidly closing.
All right, let's see this pick, and then I'm going to go clean my ass.
We bossing up. It's good to be back home at the crib. I went to school down the street from here, 3200 East Lafayette Street, Detroit Martin Luther King Crusaders. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with the 64th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The NFC champion San Francisco 49ers select Renardo Green, DB, Florida State.
All right, another corner comes off the board, Renardo Green.
A
Am
lot
I
of people
wrong?
had it going day 3.
Was he a top 30 guy for Green Bay? For some
No.
reason, no? Child nickname was Duda. Good stuff. We're at that portion of the draft. All right. You guys hold down the fort here. I'm going to go wash my ass.
Got it. Yeah, this is so again, I keep saying this. We're getting into the flavor portion, right?
Yeah.
This is all what fits your scheme. Who's going to come in, be some sort of rotational kind of guy? What can you coach them up to get more out of? Florida State's defense was good. So it kind of goes back to that point of what you said earlier with the Alabama kind of mindset. Some of the parts, individual performance.
Ooh, Jets move up.
I don't believe Green tested well either.
Jets move up here.
They don't have a ton of ammo to move.
Moved up 7 spots, it looks like.
They don't have a lot of picks. They don't have a lot of picks this year or next. I think that was the last pick of the second round, too.
The Niners was.
Yeah, Renardo Green.
I'm trying to get the details on the Jets trade here.
Yeah, it looks like so Kuiper had Green as 106th. PFF had him in the 160s. It's basically your heir apparent to DeMondre Lenore, who is in a contract year, probably walking. Yeah,
When the Packers
San
are
Francisco
on
could be
base
a
right
big-
now, they're going to be running out Quay, McDuffie, and Cooper. Can't hate that.
No, McDuffie's your thumper, and then you have two really, really versatile guys on the Sam and the Will. Quay's probably your better coverage guy than Cooper. Cooper's probably your better pass rush guy than Quay.
Yeah, I was going to say the underrated thing about both of them is going to be those guys coming on blitzes in a 4-3 is,
And they're big.
they're legitimate pass rushers too.
They're big. They're not small guys. So a surprise to this point that's still on the board. I'm going to go with TJ Tampa. TJ Tampa was consistently placed, again, whether you want to believe the draft complex or not. Yeah, he was a high second round guy, consistently mocked high second round. Did not test well.
For the Jets.
No, I'm saying TJ Tampa. Surprising that he's still on the board.
Oh,
Although if you go by some of the smarter people in the industry, Kent Platt, the RAS guy that calculates all the RAS and all that stuff, said the most volatile position in this entire draft is going to be the corners, because either they are all tape and no test or all test and no tape. You're not getting a lot of people that are meeting in the middle there. TJ Tampa's all tape, no test.
yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, that's a lot of these guys right now, right? I mean, you could even say that about Hicks, right? But he's the opposite.
Yeah.
You got Kitchens, who's all tape, no test.
Yep.
Like,
Same thing with Newman. I'm
yeah.
surprised Newman went as early as he did, personally.
As a Minnesota fan, I am also shocked. I don't think I could have. After he tested, specifically his high jump,
Yeah, it was one
his
of the
vertical
worst.
leap, his vertical, no explosion whatsoever. And honestly, when I went back and watched some tape after that, after he tested, I was like, I kind of see that. You kind of see it on tape.
Yeah,
He's not a quick first step guy.
Cement foot.
He's a good
And
anticipation guy, but
explain to me how Braylon Edwards is a Jets legend, too, by the way.
they drafted him.
Cleveland did.
Did they?
Braylon Edwards, the receiver? Played at Michigan.
Yeah. I'm looking him up. I want to look up what his what? So there's been a Michigan theme to the guys they've brought in tonight, right?
Yeah, that's maybe it. Wait, did Carl Nassib play at Michigan? Because there was all kinds of
No, Carl Nassib played at Syracuse.
Because he had like three. He played at Cleveland for 3 years, had a grand total of four sacks, and he was the Browns legend.
Browns guy. Yeah, Braylon Edwards, Jets legend. That I agree with you. He played, but he played 2 seasons in New York. Had 35 catches for 541 yards and 53 catches for 904 yards.
That's a legend right there, buddy. So you want to, as we wait here, pop into a little bit of Brewers talk with. Did you guys talk about Wade Miley yet?
I have not. No.
Wade Miley going down for the year.
Wade Miley going down.
Tommy John.
Wade Miley going down for his career.
You're probably right. It's unfortunate.
I suppose we should cover who the Jets picked there, huh?
Malachi Corley.
Yeah. So they got Aaron Rodgers, his wide receiver. Yeah, Miley's, it's tough. I mean, they're going to need pitching help. I mean, there's just nothing. And Colin Ray not doing them any favors tonight.
No, it's got to be Gasser coming up. Oh, damn. So, 66, Arizona Cardinals. Congrats to Cardinals fans. Having a pretty good draft for Cardinals here. Trey Benson, 3rd down running back, 3-down running back. Really good player. Solid, not spectacular. Doesn't have a ton of wiggle. More of a one cut and go kind of guy. Can catch a little bit. Really
honestly,
good.
So their backfield next year is going to be James Conner, Trey Benson, and Michael Carter. And when Connor inevitably goes down with his injury, you're going to still have Trey Benson and Michael Carter. That's still a good 1-2 punch in my opinion.
Yeah. Trey Benson's going to be a good back for them. Really, really, really liking what Arizona's doing this draft. This is, want to hand out early draft grades and just theoreticals and projections. Arizona's doing really well.
I mean, guys just keep falling to him, right?
Yeah, Arizona's doing really well.
I mean, they're at Marvin Harrison Jr., Darius Robinson, Max Melton, Trey Benson.
It's what happens when you hire an actual legitimate GM and not the idiots they've hired in the past. Monty Osifort actually knows what he's doing. Arizona's killing it.
I'm interested in how Melton translates to the NFL, though. Because you're looking at a guy that he played well on tape, didn't play great on tape, not nearly as well as he tested.
Right.
And not nearly as well as he played at the Senior Bowl either. Now, that is Greg Schiano out there coaching him in Rutgers, so.
Yeah, Rutgers is a bad program. I'd be really happy if I was a Cardinals fan today. Another really good pick. Another one of my guys. Brandon Coleman, Packers type of guy. Multiple positions. Probably plays four positions on the line. A little bit shorter arms. Not a lot. He's similar to Jordan Morgan, just doesn't have the nasty that Morgan does. Doesn't have the pass prone space that Morgan does. Good player, though.
I also like what Washington's doing. I think Washington's having a good draft, too. You get Jaden Daniels.
I don't like Jaden Daniels.
I know you don't like Jaden Daniels, but they needed a quarterback. They went out and got their quarterback who thought there was their guy. Newton fell into their lap in round 2. And now you add your line to protect them.
Yeah, Sammer still is. Ben Sinnott is a hell of a pick. Probably one of the most underrated players of this entire draft.
So I'm watching on NFL Network, and you know it's going to be a while when you don't even see Green Bay's the GB on the bottom there.
Oh, I'm doing ESPN today. I usually alternate it.
They show 16 teams on the bottom, and you don't even see Green Bay yet.
Yeah, we're at I think 78 and 85. Did they trade out a 78? I thought it was 78.
Let me get it for you.
iPad is not cooperating.
No, they're at 88, 91.
88. Sorry,
88 and 91. I mean, the thing is, so you look at the 2023 Packers draft class, right? So many of those guys made the team. and I would expect them all to be back. I mean, there are very few of those guys that I would say are borderline roster guys. It's just hard to imagine them taking 13 picks.
I don't think so. I want to say they're at 81 or 83 right now. I've been having problems with Packers.com all day.
So you look at the Packers draft class last year. They made 13 picks last year. I would say 11 of them, let's say 10 of them, are probably solid on the team guys coming into this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of really fringy.
But I don't think in their draft last year. I mean, 10 guys. So I'm going to go Van Ness, Musgrave, Reed, Kraft, Wooden, maybe fringy, Clifford, Wicks, Brooks, Valentine, Anthony Johnson. And then I considered Anders Carlson, fringy. Lou Nichols, Grant Dubois, those guys are probably gone.
Lou Nichols is
already gone.
He's already gone.
Yeah.
So looking at Packers.com, just scrolling top down on the roster. I don't know who Deslin Alexandre is. I don't know. I don't know when he was signed, or 25-year-old from Pitt. Zane Anderson.
But I think the difference is here, Eric, is we're talking about the 90 versus the 53, right?
Yeah, I think some of these guys are probably not going to make. Yeah, you're probably right. Yes, they're not going to make the 53. But with the way that the practice squad is now, it's a 58-man roster, right?
Yeah.
Or 59. What's practice squad? 6 plus 5. Is it 6 plus 4 or 6 plus 7? No. I have to.
It's interesting if you go to the Packers depth chart right now on Packers.com, because if the players left, they just took them out of the depth chart and just left it blank. So like they don't include Josh Jacobs on their depth chart right now.
Weird.
So inside linebacker, or here's a good one, right guard, it's blank, and then second string is Sean Ryan.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. They're probably not going to take 13 players. I think those fifth and sixth guys, those picks in that they just picked up are probably going to be 4th round projection. Oh, careful, baby. Come here. Good night. Love you. Sleep well. But they can let a lot of guys go and not have commitments. And Igbare, he's gonna be on IR all year. Got a lot of players. They 7 receivers right now that you're probably projecting to be looking at. DeBose is probably on that fringe. Malik Heath.
I mean, I think Heath is. I think he's gone. I don't think they're going to be able to. I like Heath. I just don't think they're going to, with the way they're going to build these teams. I don't think they're going to have room for that many wide receivers.
No, because they carried 7 basically all of last year. 6
Yeah.
And they carried Brenton Cox the entire year on their active roster to protect him. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that unless you value Brenton Cox to be like, if he was getting taken in this draft, a 3rd round, 4th round kind of guy. Yeah, there's a lot of looking at this. There's a lot of guys they're gonna be bigger names that I would say that are gonna be on that kind of that fringe of are they gonna make the team? Royce Newman. I don't know how Royce Newman makes his team. If they take another lineman at some point, then you can justify not hold on to Royce Newman. Caleb Jones.
So Caleb Jones is interesting to me. They've put in so much work to Caleb Jones. I mean, that's
Joe. Benny Sapp. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do what they did last year and carrying the special teams only people. The Luke Tenuta, I just saw his damn name. Special teams linebacker I was talking about was Christian Welch. Special teams ace, probably was Pro Bowl level special teamer, but didn't play a single defensive snap.
And I think this is also one of the problems the Packers have with their approach to wide receiver is you get those four guys, Wicks, Reed, Watson, Dobbs. You don't want to put any of them on special teams. You don't want any of them to be gunners.
No.
And then you look at, Jair's not going to be a gunner. And if you're going to play Nixon in the slot, you don't want him to be a gunner. So now you're really starting to get thin at who you can play in those spots.
I think with Bullard, you could consider Nixon now.
That's fair. I mean, I think, which is also why I think maybe Ballantyne has a roster spot locked up, because right now he's got to be one of your gunners. He was one of your gunners last year. He's going to have to do it again.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Goody said the word probably 6 times during his presser last night, and that's competition. Each room needs competition. Junior Colson, damn good pick. There's the first Michigan guy that Harbaugh has taken.
So let's go back to the Brewers for a little bit here.
Yeah.
Pitching. I mean, Gasser's going to have to come up at some point, right? There's no way to avoid it at this point.
Gasser's probably coming up. I would say within the next series or the following, you'll see Gasser.
When is the extra year deadline? Isn't that in June usually?
June, yeah.
So if he goes up, though, he's going to go back down.
Yeah, as long as you don't accumulate.
Yeah.
You could go back and forth with that kind of stuff, like what Baltimore's doing with Jackson Holiday, right? They called him up. He shit the bed. He sent him back down. St. Louis did it last year with Jordan Walker. Came up, didn't perform, sent him down. When you send somebody up and down, you burn that option, but you can do it
the whole year,
many times you want that entire year.
We're going to see Carlos Rodriguez this year?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
What is this?
I think you're going to see.
We're talking some Brewers injuries right now.
I thought we're talking Brewers minor league. I'm like, come on.
Who's going to come up to cover the injuries to losing Wade Miley for the year?
I think you're going to see I think Tobias Myers is probably going to stick a large period of time up. If you could stretch him out, if he could be a 5-inning guy, his stuff plays like he could be that kind of guy. He's that fringy, like you used Hauser in the past, where he's that long relief, that spot start type of player. They got some other guys down in the minors. You just looking at the AAA. They're going to create a 40 spot with putting Miley on the 60. I don't know what the hell is going on with my fucking iPad. Ashby, you're gonna need something out of Ashby. You're paying him money. You put him on that contract, that 4-year, 5-year deal. The other guys I would be looking at that could potentially come up and contribute. I wouldn't say Carlos, but there's another guy that they got a couple years ago, Jansen Junk, that they got from the Angels, maybe? I think the Angels. He's probably somebody that could be an innings eater, back end kind of guy. Profiles a lot like former Brewer Zach Davies, innings eater kind of guy that's going to give up some contact.
He has an elite name. You want your pitcher's name to be Junk.
He fair. He's kind of a
He's a junk baller.
Fringy guy. Very similar to Dave. He's a little bigger than Davies, so probably got a little bit more in the tank. Damn, that's a good pick. But he's probably somebody that you're going to see.
So the other thing we talked about, Jake, while you were gone, we have been very impressed with the draft that the Cardinals are having.
Oh, yeah? Who did we get while I was gone?
While you were gone, while you were out, let me pull it up here. It's slipping my mind. They grabbed Trey Benson.
Okay.
So now they've got Marvin Harrison, Trey Benson, Melton, and Darius Robinson.
Okay. Any other shockers or Packer guys come off the board?
Rosengarten.
Saw him.
Andrew Phillips just went. Cardinals are on the clock again. Big Illinois offensive tackle Isaiah Adams.
Brandon Coleman. That was a guy I liked for Green Bay.
That's who I was. I'm sorry. I said Rose.
Junior Colson came off the board already for the Michigan. Harbaugh got his good Michigan guy.
There we go. I see Malachi Corley went to the Jets. Good guy for Aaron Rodgers to ignore.
Yeah,
we did get the Aaron Rodgers eye tweet with the pick of Corley, by the way.
Well, all right. So the Cardinals pick Isaiah Adams. And where are we at? 72. So we still got a ways to go for our beloved Packers here.
We are 16 away from the Packers pick.
Luckily, these picks seem to come off a little bit faster now.
I really, really like what Arizona's doing. Arizona's having a very good draft.
Ortiz hits a sacrifice fly. Gary Sanchez scores. Brewers are tied 5-5 with the Yankees.
All right. We got an inning.
It is the bottom of the sixth.
Okay. Seems like an exciting night over at the ballpark.
I did wish I wanted to go tonight to get the hockey jersey.
Hockey jersey?
They were doing a Brewers fan hockey jersey giveaway tonight.
So can I ask something about their day of game operations or whatever you want to call it? Why, in a series against the Yankees, would you have all these premium giveaways when you're going to sell those tickets regardless?
No, it's dumb. It's a mistake.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you want to save that for the Pirates or, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's you're on it.
And they've always done it that way.
110% you're on it.
Yeah. Lacking sense. What's going on with my lettuce here?
I mean, yeah, they're doing one tonight, one tomorrow, right?
Yep. Tomorrow's like the Stanley Cup.
It could be the promotional kind of maybe pay it forward, but it's misguided. People are going to show up.
Yeah.
You're not running a normal business. You're running a sports organization.
Odd. Just always seemed odd to me. All right.
The one thing I will say, though, they do an excellent job with their giveaways, though. They're creative with them. They do a lot of different stuff with them. They've got some really cool stuff this year that I'm talking about going to the games because I want some of the free giveaway stuff that they're giving away. So,
yeah, they do a great job too. The Admirals giveaways are awesome. For something as cheap as minor league hockey, Admirals do a great job too.
All right. Any new picks since Isaiah Adams went off the board? Doesn't look like it.
No, Carolina's on.
So we wait. All right, Eric. Brewers minor leaguer who's going to break out this year and break into their top 10 prospects.
Break it to their top 10. Yofiri Rodriguez.
He already is 10. He's 10.
I think Yofiri Rodriguez will be in the top 100 prospects by the end of the draft.
In all of baseball, really?
Yes.
How about a little scouting report?
Jackson Chourio.
Wow, that's bold.
Yep. Jackson Chourio. A little less pop, a little more speed.
How young?
Very young, 20. In high A. He is
Go to Appleton. Is he in high A now?
high A is Appleton.
Yeah. So so yeah, let's go up to Appleton. Let's go see him.
He's last year the big buzz guy was Luis Lara. This year it's Yofiri. Yofiri is he's gonna shoot to the stars.
I'm gonna shoot.
Oozing talent. 5-tool guy. 5-tool guy. Doesn't have the ability to fill out like Jackson did. He's probably going to be a little bit more on the leaner side. I think I said this to you guys the other day. If you could comp him right now, it's Carlos Gonzalez. And if you could comp somebody that I think won an MVP or finished second in the MVP, Cargo from Colorado was he's very, very close. On the pitching side of things, they got some guys. I know we talked about Craig Yoho in our chat.
Yep.
Disgusting back end guy. Draft pick last year. Really, really good dude. Has a really nasty change. A little bit long in his delivery at times and loses a little bit of command. That's why he's probably not going to be a starter. There's another guy, AA, Russell Smith, from the left side. Really, really nasty stuff. Probably another reliever. Not going to be a starter, but he's your heir apparent for Hobie Milner. Carlos Rodriguez, disgusting. They just keep churning out all these players that they get from international. And they draft really well, but they draft specific spin rates. Like they do what they do. MLB Now had a piece today about them just being the sustainable bedrock of how you want to approach running an organization. And they do that through the draft. They find these unheralded guys, and Corbin Burns was not a high round pick. And they find a trait and they tweak a grip, and all of a sudden people are turning out 1,800 spin rates on breaking pitches, and they're disgusting. Yoho, Smith, Rodriguez.
I expected you to say a guy that's not even on their top 30 right now that could explode up it very quickly is Brett Wachowski, who for some reason they put in the pitching lab over the winter. He came back and he's throwing 8 miles per hour or so harder. He's now touching triple digits. Went from sitting in low 90s to triple digits now. They put him in the lab and they found out he wasn't using all of his drive.
Yeah.
Now he's using all his drive, and he came back into spring training. All of a sudden, he just jumped.
Yeah, they from a pitching development for what, and it's ironic in the Central, St. Louis is absolutely terrible at developing people. The Brewers are like the model of what is developing talent. If you had Jordan Walker in the Brewers system, where would Jordan Walker be right now versus what he's going through in St. Louis? Like, the Cardinals fans are just berating Jordan Walker to whereas he deleted all his socials, got sent back down to the minors. Like, it's a terrible situation for what that kind of franchise is dealing with, a terribly run franchise that hasn't been successful since the Yachty and those kind of years. to what the Brewers are doing now. It's sustainable success. They create a pipeline, and you don't overpay. You don't pay free agents. You don't pay these people to come in. And when you do pay these people to come in, you don't commit long-term salaries to them. I think the Brewers, if they had a do-over, they probably would have paid Yelich. I mean, that's probably pretty fair. They would have paid Braun. That's probably pretty fair.
Real quick, couple picks that went off the board. Carolina takes Trevin Wallace, the linebacker from Kentucky. And I love this pick for the Cowboys. They just took Cooper Beebe, the guard from Kansas State. Mauler, mean guy. Love it. Big need for them.
Oh my God, it is a miracle. Atlanta finally picks a pass rusher after how many years?
I'm just seeing it now. Braylon Trice, Packer type, comes off the board.
Oh, he's too small for the Packers defense now.
Isn't he like 6'5", 270?
245.
No.
Who am I confusing Trice with then? I'm confusing him with someone. So yeah, Braylon Trice, 6'4", 274, compared to Zadarius Smith.
Oh, see, ESPN lists him at 264, 245.
Somebody's wrong. Let's take a look at his tape. He's on my screen.
The other guy I would look.
6'3.5", 245. Weird. Did he trim down?
He's listed at 275 on Washington's football website. At the combine, he weighed in at 245.
I see. So one of these guys that was trying to run fast. I got it.
Yeah.
So I wonder what he'll play at.
Well, they run a 3-4 hybrid kind of. Well, I don't know what they're going to do at Raheem though, because it's different.
Who's their defense coordinator?
Don't know.
The Bears, you were just talking about joke franchises. They are on the clock. See what happens with Chicago. Spencer, come on.
To button up the Brewers combo, the last guy I would look at to keep on your radar, your man Galindez, another pitcher, another young guy, international guy, basically been unhittable all year.
They got to figure out how to develop position players now.
They could develop the shit out of outfielders.
All right, the Bears pick is in. Green Bay creeping towards, where are we at, 75? Who are you guys thinking? I mean, I guess we got a ways to go here, but who are you thinking?
Running back.
Yeah, that's probably your Braylon Allen territory. Maybe Jalen Wright if they're looking for that more scat back kind of home run threat guy. Definitely in the mix. I still think you could go corner. There's a very deep position in this draft. One of the guys that really, really matched up and that they brought in on a top 30 was Jerrion Jones from Florida State. Kyrie Jackson, who's one of the older prospects in the draft. I believe he'll be 25 before the season starts, but he's another big, kind of reminds me of Kevin King. Big, tall, a little bit slight, but long. So corner could be on the board here as well.
I would look at defensive line as well.
Yeah, defensive line. You always need bodies. This is where they usually pick them.
Okay, we could talk about interior guys. So, as far as who's on the board, did Mekhi Wingo go off the board yet? I think he might still be available.
He's still available. Brandon Dorlus is still available. Dwayne
Carter from Duke. Leonard Taylor III from Miami. So, yeah, there's some decent. I really like. All right, I won't even say it. I like Logan Lee. He might be a little bit small for them as far as someone playing a true interior position. But, yes, Iowa defender.
So two guys they had on top 30s, interior guys, Brandon Dorlus and Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa.
That's right.
Boyd, they actually talked to twice. They talked to him at the Senior Bowl and then, again, had him in a top 30.
I think that might be a little bit rich for him, but as we've talked about the theme kind of this year being, it's what is your GM think, not what we necessarily think. Some other notable names at running back. I think a lot of people liked Blake Corum's tape from Michigan. But
He's
given how
just so
small he is,
small.
and he tested for somebody that small. Same with Bucky Irving, another smaller player from Oregon. That just the testing process was a disaster. I believe they hosted Ray Davis from Kentucky. Green Bay did. A guy that kind of reminds me of in the Aaron Jones mold, from a frame standpoint, a little bit more compact.
So
Slash.
I have a funny Bucky story. So Bucky was originally a Minnesota Golden Gopher. He played his freshman season at the Gophers. But because his name is Bucky, they made him change his name. And they called him Bucko that entire year, to the point where he requested a transfer and went to Oregon and also got an NIL bag. But he cited the fact that they made him change his name as part of the reason he left. He was Big Ten all freshman running back.
Wow, I have not heard that. That is nuts. Couple other names should be familiar to some Packer fans. Isaac Arendo, former Badger that transferred to Louisville. I believe he was the fastest running back this year, but at 6'1", 225, logged the fastest 40-yard dash time. Will Shipley from Clemson, late riser. I think he's more of like a jack-of-all-trades type player, but got a lot of hype because he did test so well. So, yeah, some decent options at running back.
The thing we got to talk about with Garendo, he wasn't just the fastest running back at the Combine. He was like top 5 fastest player at the Combine at 221 pounds.
Yeah. All right, Bears making their selection. Anybody want to go ahead with this pronunciation? I hate that I like this pick for them.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good pick for them.
Developmental tackle, Kieran
Amagaji?
It reminds me of the scene from Office Space. Samir Nayananajad. Why is that so hard for Americans? Nayananajad. Yeah, kind of like a Yash Nyman type to me. That is going to be a developmental guy that you'll probably have in your system for a few years before you want to stick him on the field. Let's talk wide receivers. Has Troy Franklin been picked yet?
No.
Packer guy, 6'3", a little bit slight, but super, super young for the Oregon Ducks. Has Roman Wilson been picked yet?
No.
Okay, that's another one. Jalen Polk, has he been picked yet?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that one.
Jermaine Burton.
Let's see here. Devontae Walker, I believe, is he still on the board?
He is.
Johnny Wilson, who, if they want another Alan Lazard type, he's massive dude, 6'6", 230, between 230 and 240. But, if you want to develop another kind of hybrid tight end run or wide receiver type, that's going to be a big blocker. We know they love their blockers.
Can I get a sleeper for the Packers?
Let's
that
hear
guy
it.
that if they don't figure out a wide receiver, that guy if they don't figure out Watson's hamstrings, somebody that they can put in there, same body type to run those 9 routes. Bub Means.
Yeah, you
He's
have
not quite as fast, but
Melton.
he's a big play threat and can get off the line.
I would think that Melton might be your backup guy there, but again, if Green Bay sees the value, they will not hesitate. Let's see Broncos pick here.
Mike Shanahan in the Hall of Fame. Let's go Broncos. God bless Bo Nix. With the 76th pick
Is that Ken
in
Bone?
the 2024 NFL Draft, the 3-time Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos select Jonah Ellis.
All right, edge guy, Utah. Jonah Ellis goes to the Denver Broncos. Talking about, they kind of failed when they took Josiah DeGuara. He never quite panned out to what they liked. A guy that might be in that kind of mold is Jatavian Sanders.
Sanders.
Yep, 6'4", 243, tight end. I think he could project to that kind of H-back tight end hybrid at the next level from Texas. He was a massive recruit coming out, and I think, again, a lot like Worthy and Mitchell, I think so quarterback play, kind of up and down quarterback play, hurt him as his value as a prospect, but I wouldn't mind the value there at 88 or 91.
It's
So
funny that we
we're
say
thinking
that
about-
when yours is going to probably go top 10 next year.
There are at tight end, and I know we've talked about this a little bit on the mock draft when we talked about Barner, but there are some absolutely massive tight ends at the end of this draft. You've got like 250 to 270 pound tight ends that are going at the end of this draft. And for a team that needs a blocking tight end, I'd be shocked if they don't go there at some point.
Yeah, a couple other names. Yaheem Bell, Florida State, another guy that you might see in that, DeGuaro role that never quite came to fruition, a little bit on the smaller side. But, the 6'3", 239, again, that kind of hybrid position.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do tight end, I'm taking dude from Illinois.
Tip Ryman?
Yep.
Just the tip.
Yep. That's your 6 lineman, 6'5", 6'6", 270.
A couple interior guys that might be on the board. Tanner Bortolini, local boy, Wisconsin, fastest 3-cone time, I believe, in the history of the combine for a center or any interior lineman, breaking Jason Kelsey's record. From someone who watched a lot of him at Wisconsin, I've not quite seen it as far as like the tape matching the athleticism. I don't think Wisconsin's offensive line in general has really, really taken a hit in the reputation department over the last few years. They're a lot more finesse than they used to be. But again, he is, that Packer type as far as like, let's just take the raw athlete and get him in the system and see what we can do with him. Another one would be Bo Lemer from Arkansas. Bigger guy for a center.
Zinter and Mahogany. Mahogany with the Halfley connection and Zinter with the top 30.
Sure. So yeah, we've got some options here. I don't think they would go tackle again, but just for the purposes of let's see who's left on the board.
I think it's the other side of the ball, unless they go wide out or tight end. They tend to get outside of the box in the third round. They tend to do things that throwing a dart at the board. That's their third round kind of mantra. They doubled up tight end last year. They shoot in the dark, often taking the supremely testable, no production defensive tackles.
Yep. That goes back to the Ted Thompson era.
Yep.
Well, kind of the Mike Sherman era even.
They get weird in the third round. So I think if there's going to be an out-of-the-box pick that's going to be something that's against the grain, it's probably going to happen here. Would not be shocked to see a quarterback go, to be honest.
For Green Bay?
For Green Bay. I would not be shocked to see a Pratt or a Rattler. They brought Pratt in on a 32.
Now, would you say that's more because of the value there or because they were a little bit dissatisfied with Clifford?
I think it's both. Goody spoke to it that they want to get back to that kind of continually taking quarterbacks. And his predecessor always took quarterbacks. So remember, it doesn't matter the round. If the value's there, or kind of speak to them. If Pratt's their guy, or Rattler, or Slovis, or Leary, or whomever is their guy, they're going to take quarterback here today or tomorrow.
A couple other names I'm seeing here. Kalen King from Penn State, the corner. DJ James. I don't know if he's come off the board yet. Did he?
I don't think Kalen King gets drafted.
Okay, well, we shall see. Do you know, did DJ James come off the board yet?
No.
Okay, possibility there.
Still think they need some edge depth. Austin Booker is still available. He was in for a 30. That's one of those dart throws you talk about. This guy only started one college game.
Scoreless.
If they're still looking at potentially doubling up on safety, I don't believe I've seen Jaden Hicks come off the board. That in the box guy. Did Kalen Bullock come off the board?
Nope.
It's another possibility there.
Kinchins either.
Cameron Kinchins. I mean, that was the guy who's probably taken the biggest fall.
Tested terrible at the combine, tested really good at his pro day.
Sure. Another Georgia safety, but I don't know. If they take another safety, I can't see them taking another smallish guy. I think they visited or the other Utah safety, Sion Vaki. he had a top 30 visit, I believe.
I believe so too.
Keaton Oladapo, I would see him more as a later round guy, potentially maybe even like an undrafted guy. Josh Proctor from Ohio State.
Trey Taylor.
Bo Braid, Trey Taylor. Yeah, I like the safeties that are still sitting on the board, so I could talk myself into going, back to back on the safeties here.
I think you can get Trey Taylor probably around 5. He's more your box kind of guy. If you want to play Bullard in the slot and mix match him with Nixon on who you're dealing with, who you're covering.
All right, here's a left field. Specialists. Too high for a kicker?
Too high for a kicker.
Too high for a kicker.
Draft.
Well, last year the first kicker I believe went in the second round.
That kicker.
I don't think you
kicker
go
is
back
not
to that.
available in this draft.
Well, I think if you are going kicker, it's
Well,
probably the Bama kid, who I'm just reading now, went 5 for 5 of field goals from 50 yards. So, also just to interject, Kalen Bullock just got drafted, number 78 to the Houston Texans. Safety out of USC.
Yeah, I'm not picking a kicker. I'm just bringing in every kicker that's in the UFL right now because those guys are nailing 60-yard kicks over and over and over again.
Yeah, they're also playing in non-elements.
It is fascinating to me that the longer kicks, Carlson seemed to be money on this year, and then extra points and those mid-ranges where he struggled.
As much as he struggled this year, he had a better field goal percentage than Crosby did his first year.
I don't think they're going to draft kickers in back-to-back years. That would be weird. I think the punter from Iowa, Taylor, is a possibility. I think
they're happy with their punter. I think they're happy with Whelan.
All right, so where are we at? We are
28 or 29 though.
We are inside of 10 picks.
So
until Green Bay is on the board or again.
Is punter like running back, where you don't want to take a running back that just kind of had to carry the load the whole career because he just got too many carries on him? Because then I don't want to take an Iowa punter because that's all they did.
The defense got a lot of reps.
He's got too much. Doesn't have any kicks left in that leg.
Yeah, he's got too many miles.
That would be kind of funny if he only had so many. But I don't know. Morton Anderson played till he was like 63, didn't he?
Another Packer player just went. Packer profile, I should say.
All right, offensive tackle, Matt Goncalves. Goncalves. He was a little bit bigger for a Packer guy, wouldn't he be? So they drafted Rasheed Walker last year late, and that was kind of against the grain from what they normally do, because Rasheed is just a little bit out of what they typically do. He's about 6'6", 6'7", and I think when you're grading it on a curve, he absolutely outperformed his draft performance. But it makes me wonder: do they see Jordan Morgan as a left tackle, and they just, we'll see what happens with Rasheed. Maybe he's a right tackle. Maybe he's a swing guy.
If you listen to the GOAT last night, that was on McAfee, Jordan Morgan's basically your starting left tackle for the next 12 years.
I did have to look it up just for the record. Torrey Taylor, the Iowa punter, punted 93 times last year, or 7 times a game in a college season.
Come on, that has to be his career number, right?
No. 2023 led team in punting, logging 93 punts for 4,079 yards.
Hushmazili's out there?
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to him.
He had 2 miles worth of punting last year.
Bengals Jim and all my Bengals fans up there, what's up? So this pick means something to me, as I've been training this kid for a long time. And now he's going to be drafted by the Bengals. So with the 80th pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jermaine Burton, wide receiver, Alabama.
I absolutely love this kid.
So Jermaine Burton, Alabama receiver. I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't see a receiver here personally.
I love this kid.
Well, Andrew mentioned it earlier. The
He reminds me so much.
who's who? Are you the sum of your parts?
He plays so much like Jordy.
Was it a couple years ago? Who were the two Bama kids that came out that went like it was Ruggs and someone else?
CD.
Devontae Smith.
And CD was part of that too.
Ruggs and Judy were together, weren't they?
Judy, Ruggs, CD Lamb.
I'm thinking of the Devontae Smith year. But you had the two Bama kids, and it was like,
Well, Devontae Smith was one of them.
Was that the same year?
I
just remember thinking, who's going to be the one who's the real talent? One was productive because of the other.
Ruggs and Lamb were the same draft.
It's tough when you just get 9 5-star recruits every single year at wide receiver to remember who's who.
They probably get 9 at just receiver.
All right.
Let's pull it up here. Ruggs and Judy were the same year.
Oh, damn.
12 and 15. The next year was in 2021. In 2020, they had Ruggs and Judy drafted at 12 and 15. In 2021, they had Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle drafted at 6 and 10.
Waddle, that was the one.
In 2022, they had Jamison Williams go in the first round.
What was CD Lamb? Or no, CD Lamb was.
He's tech.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. Do you guys want WWE draft updates?
Today's draft night.
I'm yet to watch it, but I could pull up the results since it's fitting.
So you're the wrestling guy. Did you watch Tony Khan today?
No, but I saw some recap. I mean, he's a clown. Just I feel so bad for Jaguars fans and for AEW fans. He's like the most awkward human being I've ever seen in my life. If you want to hear, I'm going to bring up a clip here. So Tony Khan when he started AEW, he vowed that he would never be like Vince McMahon. And he's like, I'm not going to be a TV character on my own show. And then this week, he decided to break his vow. And he was involved in a storyline. And he was attacked in the ring. I've never seen somebody get hit in the stomach and sell the move as if they were just hit with a left cross by Mike Tyson. Like, he went out. And then I think after a few seconds, he realized oh yeah, I got hit in the stomach, not the face. I should probably be holding my stomach. Let me see if I can find the clip. It's so amazing.
Did he get hit by Matt Perry's kid or something like that?
Well, then there's a tag team called the Young Bucks that gave him their finishing move, and it looked so bad. And it was hilarious because at the end, Shad Khan makes his first ever television appearance for AEW, to really sell that, oh no, my son's hurt. He was a better actor than almost everybody they have on their roster.
So the Khan family themselves, you feel bad for Jaguars fans. Look up what he did. So they also own the English Premier League team Fulham FC. Have you heard about this before? He decided he wanted a statue of Michael Jackson in front of the stadium. So he built a statue of Michael Jackson in front of their stadium with the red glove on and everything.
Oh my God.
It's just sitting out there in front of their stadium. Never played there. Guy just likes Michael Jackson, so he put it outside the stadium.
Just a bizarre family. All right, I'm going to share something with you guys here.
Money does things to people.
That's true. I was
walking around with bank robber knit hats on.
Going on InfoWars.
Yeah,
I was talking to a friend who's a big UFC fan, and we were talking about how McGregor money just rotted that guy and took away his drive and his hunger. All right, let's see here. I'm going to share this. I don't think I'll get copyright stricken here. All right, let's go full screen here. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
All right, so check it out. Here's Tony Khan in his amazing acting.
Jack Perry back on the scene here in All Elite Wrestling. We can only assume that's what that handshake, that embrace meant.
Absolutely. Tony smiled. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, wait, the stomach.
So interior offensive lineman just went off the board, taking that one away for Green Bay.
Christian Haynes. All right, let's see here. All right, here's Tony Khan taking the Young Bucks finishing move. It's so bad. That's an interesting pose.
By that dude's D.
If only he had white socks on too, that would have been amazing. So then he goes and he puts a neck brace on for all of the NFL draft coverage. Like he was in their war room last night with a neck brace, selling it like.
We watched that where he was like turning his head.
Yeah, turning his head with a neck brace. Oh, Jaguars fans. Luckily, there's probably not many. All right, the Cardinals have another pick here. Jesus, how many picks do they have?
It's kind of shocking they haven't moved yet, right?
They moved back a couple times.
All right, we're talking about the Jaguars.
The Jaguars, just moving in general. Like,
yeah, they're pretty much London's team, right?
They've been there.
Hold on. Cardinals pick.
Damn it.
The Arizona Cardinals select Tip Ryman, tight end, Illinois.
I'm envious of the fucking Cardinals draft.
So what do you love about Tip Ryman?
He is literally Mercedes Lewis.
All right.
He is
big dog.
110% 6 O-line. He's one of the best blockers from the tight end standpoint in the entire draft. He's probably a better blocker than some of the offensive tackles that you're going to see in like 6th and 7th round. He is nasty.
Hey, how about the NFL nailing the draft hats this year for like the first time ever?
Oh, speaking of hats, did you see the NFL pass the halo for the?
Yeah,
I did see that. How many people do you think are actually going to sport the halo?
So they tried doing it. The NFLPA tried passing it last year, and the NFL couldn't do it because they didn't have enough testing, and they declined it. They passed it 52 to 48 between NFLPA vote, and I think there's probably going to be quite a bit. I think you'll see probably at least 1 or 2 a game.
I mean, at what point do you, as a team, mandate they wear it so you protect your offensive linemen from concussions?
Well, so Riddell just released something today. Their new advanced helmet that's coming out actually has better impact metrics than the regular helmet with the halo on. So I don't know.
We've got a Rams pick here.
Bruce, 14 years old, 8th grader, state qualifier in the 4x100.
She looks terrified.
And with the 83rd pick
Looks very nervous.
in the 2024 NFL Draft, the 2-time Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams select
Blake Corum.
Wow, that is interesting. Blake Corum, running back from Michigan. Again, great tape, but tiny. Didn't test well.
His acceleration is probably some of the best, like his one whole cut acceleration.
Yeah, I mean, he looks dynamic when you watch the highlights. But I don't know. What is it, 83rd overall?
5'7".
I was thinking like in the 120s, maybe the 130s.
So
what the fuck do I know?
Interestingly, I had to look this up real quick because I was like, well, Kyron Williams is small too. He's 5'9", 184.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is probably the best comp.
Well, I'm just saying that the other back in LA is already tiny.
So they have a type. All right, what do we have here? Five picks till Green Bay picks?
5 picks, which means I'll be right back.
We are in the 5-pick warning.
So we screwed up last night, dude. We got no games of NBA Jam or Golden Tee in.
Oh, damn, good call. Do you have Silver Strike Bowling?
No, but I'm sure I can find one. I got a dartboard I don't use.
A friend of mine he bought a big arcade cabinet and then he totally legally put every arcade game ever made on it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, like an emulator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always more of a Silver Strike guy than a Golden Tee guy.
Oh, I love Golden Tee.
That's actually, I have the most boring Las Vegas story ever. I went with a buddy. We were kind of past like the prime Vegas age, like just a few years past it. So we walked around for a long time, and then we had bet on college or NFL football. We found a tiny little bar inside the Hooters casino that had $1.50 bottles of Bud Light and 25-cent games of Silver Strike Bowling. And we stayed there for like 6 hours.
That's a good night.
We go to Las Vegas to go to this tiny little bar, the back corner of the Hooters casino, and drink Bud Light.
That's your typical Wisconsin attitude of finding the dive and just.
Oh, it never leaves you.
Yeah.
Back in my prime. You remember me back then.
I do. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when we think about it.
Ironically, I've known your wife longer than you and closer to you.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other about 15 years now.
Probably.
Kristen, probably like over 20 for you, my wife.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think she probably knows my brother more than she knows me, but.
All right, I missed it. The Steelers just picked Roman Wilson, the wide receiver from Michigan. So some more wideouts coming off the board. More skill position guys coming off the board here. All right, any predictions as we get closer and closer?
Trench.
I'm going to say that this is where we see the local kid, Braylon Allen, come off the board.
I'm gonna say Trench. I said Dorless at 58. I'm gonna double it up here and say Dorless.
That's what I was gonna say when I was thinking up there. I was like, we should do who do you want and who do you think?
I'll play that game. Hold on. Let me look at the board. Who do I want is Dorless. Who do I think? I'll say want Dorless, think Dominic Pooney.
I'm also in a want Dorless area. I know I don't want to copy you, but they're going to need to rebuild that line. They're not getting what they need from it right now. Well, maybe give me a second. Maybe they don't, because you got Brooks, Wyatt, Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, and you're only going to need 2 or 4 of them, so you're only going to have 2 on there at a time.
Kobe Wooden.
Yeah, maybe they don't go D-line.
Damn, Tez Walker is a That would be a good fucking pick too.
I don't really have a want at this point. All the guys I was fired up for are pretty much off the board. Or the guys that I was really, really in on are off the board at least. So I'll give who I do think it's going to be Braylon Allen here. I think he's one of the most Packer players in this draft and probably a little bit higher than he should go, or that most people think he should go. But as you said, Eric, they get a little bit weird and they have their types. So that's who I'm going to go with. Backup pick will be, they like to, if they're going to try to fix a position, they'll do it in like bursts. So I'll say the cornerback Jarian Jones from Florida State. Pick number 86 is in. As soon as that is announced, we will go live to the pick. I'm sorry, 85 is in. I will say it is fun having this many picks early.
Yeah, it keeps you engaged, right? It's so spread out. It sucks when there's 40 fucking picks between your picks. We're going to have that in day 3 where there's like 40, 50 picks. Well, I haven't looked at the new 5 and 6. But like if you're looking at guys and you have like 5 guys, you're like, oh my God, I want those guys. There's no chance. Wow, Disa Isaac's still on the board.
I was just gonna say my want is Isaac. I think they're gonna get a little weird here.
I'll caveat, do not be shocked if Michael Prackett's taken here.
I'm going to get a little weird here. I think they're going to get a little weird here. My want is Isaac. For some reason, I just got Cade Stover to go play the H-back role.
Cleveland Browns legend Carl Nassib.
I got a commercial. I'm looking at a fucking Buick right now. And it's hideous. 2023 Envision all-wheel drive. No thanks.
All right. So
I'm still looking at a commercial. What is this crap?
Packer type just went.
Yeah, I got a Chase credit card commercial now. Thank God. This is what I.
So Packer type just went. Zach Zinter, guard, going to Cleveland at 85.
Actually, I'm going to change my one. I'm going to say they're going to double up on the safety position because they need to fix it and they do it in bulk. They picked Bullard. They're going to double up and pick Hicks.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. Give you some versatility.
You could, at that point,
really trading out.
You could run 3 safety formations with Hicks. Like Hicks could almost be your deep cover 2 guy.
San Francisco
to play the box stuff.
All right, so the Niners trade up to pick number 86. And we roll on. All right, let's take a look at some WWE draft news.
I honestly would not hate Allen going here. Not the player would take. I would take Lloyd.
Well, I think
hate Allen.
If they really like him, I don't think he's going to be there at their next pick in the 4th round at 126.
Well, they got 88 and 91, so
So in one of these 2 picks, it would not shock me at all to get the youngest guy in the draft.
Oh, there's Pooney. Right, so I guess I have to choose mine, huh?
Yeah, you know on that. Let's talk WWE draft here. Wow, we've got some shockers at the top. So the first overall pick, Bianca Belair, is drafted to SmackDown. Unbelievable. Second overall pick, Jey Uso, stays on Monday Night Raw. It's just him, Uso, day one-ish. Third overall pick, this is the Michael Penix Jr. of the WWE draft. Carmelo Hayes goes from NXT to WWE SmackDown. Fourth overall pick, Seth Rollins to Monday Night Raw. Fifth, Randy Orton to SmackDown. And sixth overall pick, Braun Breaker, son of legend Rick Steiner, nephew of even bigger legend Scott Steiner,
Can we?
to WWE Raw.
So you played the Xavier Leggett video earlier.
Yeah.
Do you know
want the
what
Steiner
number
math?
he's wearing?
I don't.
You want to guess?
So he's a receiver.
And I'm outraged by it. So
Okay, I'm going to say he's wearing number 5.
Eric, you want to guess?
24.
24.
Yeah,
He's
that sucks.
I'm going to be old man for a moment. Can we go back to the old numbering scheme, please?
Yes, please.
I'm
The
gonna
game does not
say-
look right. It looks like you're watching a preseason game with these numbers.
Stick with Dorless, and I think the Packers go. I just want to get this on before they get on the clock.
Are you cheating right now?
No, I'm on
I'm
the.
trying to look at what the 49ers traded to get to 86. They so they didn't. That was not a
I'm
low
gonna say
cost
they go
move.
Allen. I want Dorless. They go Allen.
So the 49ers to get from 94 to 86 had to give up 132.
Yikes. That seems steep.
They really like the tackle, apparently.
It's not a tackle though.
Didn't you just say puny?
Yeah, Pooney's not a tackle. He's an inside guy.
Fair enough.
Okay, so interestingly, I'm on ESPN's DraftCast right now. Tackle has been absolutely rated to the point where when we were doing our mock drafts, we were taking Frank Crum in the 6th, 7th.
He's
On
going to be like
ESPN
5th round pick.
On the ESPNs right now, he is the 5th best available tackle, and we are in the 3rd.
Oh, yes. This has been a
Now, granted,
offensive line, defensive line heavy draft.
It's your flavor. What's your flavor?
Okay, somebody's trolling me. I'm on like nonstop commercials here.
I'm on commercial too.
I'm on
Okay.
commercial too.
Last I saw, Dallas's pick was in, which means Green Bay is either on the clock or their pick is in as well.
Now I got Olive Garden.
I've got Fleet Farm.
Well, I'd take Fleet Farm over Olive Garden.
All right, I'm getting some Brewers updates here. Looks like Rhys Hoskins just made a hell of a play to dig it out. Top of the 9th, the Yankees were threatening. Brewers going into the bottom of the 9th. Tie game with a chance to win it. I wish I knew where my other phone was.
So I just want to pause for a second and say Javon Bullard is going off on Twitter about being excited to be a Packer. So let's fucking go.
Good kid. See if I can get the Brewers game in another window here. Granted, I'm trying to log into Bally Sports, so wish me luck.
Not going to happen.
All right, I'm going to try to share my screen with you so you can see, literally by just going to ballysports.com, so you can see what it's doing right now.
Spinny wheel of death.
No, it's like glitching out. Look at this shit. Can you see that shit?
That's why you're going bankrupt, Bally Sports.
Look at it. It's fucking nuts. I can't click anything because it just keeps like, I don't know if that's refreshing or what, but it is glitching the fuck out.
Baseball has just a perfect opportunity to just go internet for everything with all their games.
Ridiculous.
Didn't the NBA secured Amazon today, didn't they?
Yes, that was huge.
The Brewers will be on Amazon at some point this year.
All right,
All
Dallas is once
we
again
go.
milking their pick.
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys
right.
select Marist Liufau, linebacker, Notre Dame.
Okay, I guess if you're a big draft person, that's somewhat of a surprise. I don't think many people had the Notre Dame linebacker going that high. But Dallas picks up off-ball linebacker Marist Liufau. All right, so who is Green Bay going to disappoint us with? That is the question. They are either on the clock or their pick is in.
So DraftCast says the best fit for the Packers at this point is Satoa Laumea, guard from Utah.
Well, let's see if they know their shit. I'm still trying to get better WWE draft coverage here. They're not doing a good job of updating this.
So something else that I think is hilarious about draft night. Everybody always wearing suits. These guys are in athletic gear. Every day you see them, but on draft night, full suits for 7 hours in the draft room, 8 hours, 12 hours. Doesn't make sense to me whatsoever.
How bad is Peyton Wilson's medicals that Marist Liufau goes before Peyton Wilson?
Yeah, I didn't realize he was still on the board.
All right, here we go.
All right, Green Bay pick coming in. No spoilers.
With the 88th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Marshawn Lloyd, running back, USC.
Let's fucking go.
All right, I'm a little bit surprised. I don't see the fit, but go ahead. Shill for America. Let's hear it.
I love Marshawn Lloyd. Love Marshawn Lloyd. 3-down guy. Can catch, can block, can run, one cut, good acceleration, smaller, very, very much like Aaron Jones. Does not have the kind of burst that Jones has, but love the guy. Love the guy.
A little bit older for a prospect.
A little bit
about
older.
23 and a half.
He doesn't have the burst that Jones has, but he's more slippery than Jones is and more elusive. Like, I think of all those times where Jones gets run down downfield. Lloyd doesn't get run down downfield.
Nope, not going to happen.
He's definitely like stocky and compact. Like he looks bigger on film than he's listed.
Yeah, this is a great pick. I mean, this is just reassuring what you're going to do. NFL Network, his player comp was DeAndre Swift.
Good night, buddy.
Did you put Swift in the Packers backfield? I know we said Peyton Wilson's medicals are bad. I would take him here.
One second.
Let's swing for the fences.
Tyke Smith, defensive back.
All right, the other Georgia safety goes Tyke Smith to the Buccaneers. And we are 2 picks away, guys. Just like that.
I'm slowly. I would say Arizona has definitely won the draft so far, but that Lloyd pick is a fucking home run, like huge home run.
Well, you'd think that you probably don't have to use him much this year. Knock on wood.
Oh, they didn't use Dylan much that first year they drafted him either.
All right, so the Cardinals pick is in, so we are officially on the clock. Exciting stuff. Let's
That
see
being said,
who they're going to end the night with.
I would love to see Green Bay get more comfortable giving 3 backs carries significantly to keep, like, you got to keep Jacobs fresh for the playoffs.
You could also use Dylan as that pseudo H-back too. Well,
he's, he has the frame, but I don't know if he has the ability. Like, for someone who is as big and as strong as he is, he does not run like it. And I don't know if you can really depend on him to get in front of a defensive bend, or I don't know. Maybe it's a way to justify having him on the roster, but you're paying him literally like peanuts here. So, all right, let's see who the next pick is. Arizona Cardinals.
Elijah
The
Jones.
Arizona Cardinals select Elijah Jones, defensive back, Boston College.
Can't pretend I know anything about him.
So, very interestingly, this is just a weird observation with the Packers this year. So, Morgan wasn't the top tackle available, but PFF graded him as like the second best productive tackle in terms of last year when you look at all three skills. But then Cooper was the best inside linebacker. Bowler was rated the top safety available. And now Lloyd was some people had him as the top running back available.
I just read Daniel Jeremiah saying the Packers got the best running back in the draft.
Yeah, it's legit to be excited about Marshawn Lloyd. That was
All
quick.
right, we're back on the clock.
That was fast.
Yep. This is probably going to take us home here.
Pick is in, by the way.
All right. By the way, RAS score for Marshawn Lloyd, 8.62.
And running back's usually a position they ignore the RAS score. You don't see them necessarily go for the high guy very often.
Wasn't Dylan like a near perfect score?
Yes, he was. Dylan was the RAS monster.
Let me
To
see
the
here.
size, right?
Size and speed combo.
Yep.
He doesn't play that fast, though.
No. Well, he doesn't play that. You look at a guy like that, you'd think that you're getting a Brandon Jacobs or who's the kid now? Bama kid. Titans guy. Now I forget where he signed.
Derrick Henry.
Derek, you'd think you're getting something like that, but yeah, it's definitely a guy that seemed to avoid contact a lot. Aaron Jones, by the way, his RAS score was 9.33.
Interesting.
Coming out. Yeah.
So I was just entirely wrong, but that's okay.
Let's see. Just for shits and giggles.
I'm fucking shocked Troy Franklin's not going.
Well, in your defense, Andrew, Josh Jacobs' RAS was 5.65 coming out of Bama in 2019.
What are you not testing?
He did not do agility testing, but he had a poor speed grade, good size grade, poor explosive grade. All right. So there's Green Bay and commercial. There's our first one. It's officially draft weekend.
Brewers are in extras down 6-5. The leadoff batter hit a double, so now they're probably going to be down 2.
Sweet. Can't win them all. All right, come on.
I mean, the Packers have basically a bell cow back with a lightning and thunder backup.
Yeah, that all of a sudden that turned into a pretty decent strength, I think. Your running back room.
It's not quite.
Oh, damn it.
2 hours we had both Jacobs and Aaron Jones, but hey.
I accidentally saw the leaked pick. I'm going to have to go do some research on this one. And I am scrolling down quite far to find him.
Well, they get a little weird.
This is a weird one for sure. Very weird one. This definitely reminds me more of like a late 7th round flyer type pick than a 91 overall, but We shall see. All right. Here we go, boys.
With the 91st pick in the 2024 NFL
Not a bad
Draft,
pick.
the Green Bay Packers select Tyron Hopper, linebacker, Missouri.
Inside guy. Very aggressive.
I don't know. Not their type. He's small.
He's definitely a inside guy. He's not a Sam or a Will.
He's light.
Yeah. He is
Played a lot of special teams.
he was a big recruit. He was a big recruit coming into Florida. Didn't play a ton. I want to say they had him
Ball
on
does
32.
not look happy with it, just for the record.
Who does that?
Russ Ball.
I think they had. I'm almost positive they had him on a top 30.
Yeah. From what I'm reading, it looks like he did not. I mean, as far as like his how he graded out according to PFF, he had a really rough year in 2023 after a pretty good year in 22.
So
According to PFF, he missed 17 tackles this season.
So let's talk about, once again, we're looking at, this is the sub packages, the matchups, the situational football there. This is a guy that you can put in to play middle linebacker, and if they split out a tight end, he can cover the tight end. He's small enough, fast enough to run with tight ends.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's PFF, so who take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. But his coverage grade was 39.6 in 2023. Missed tackle rate of 22.7%. Yeah. Someone's gonna have to sell me on this one, boys. He had a passer rating allowed of 103.6 for 399th in the country. A lot of what I'm seeing is special teams. So, I mean, they seem to, like, last year talk a big game about improving special teams. So, I mean, okay.
So, Jake, we talked about this while you were gone. They have a special teams problem. And the special teams problem is usually your 4 or 5 wide receivers play special teams. Do you want to put Wicks or Dobbs on special teams? Because I won't.
Sure. But again, I think if you're drafting special teamers, that's 6th round, that's 7th round, and you're going multiple guys, your big safety hybrid or safety linebacker hybrids, which is kind of like what Hopper's scouting report sounds like. Just seems very, I don't know. To me, in the 3rd round, I'm still looking for future starters potentially. So yeah, it's, again, one of those things. What do we know? We're just guys that are into this, that watch it.
Yeah.
But I am very underwhelmed at this last pick, considering what was still on the board.
So I'm going to take bold prediction for the rest of the draft. I think Peyton Wilson goes undrafted.
Okay.
I think if he's fallen this far, his medicals are that bad.
So Tyron Hopper was the on ESPN was the 111th overall player, 4-star recruit, signed with Florida, transferred to Alabama or to Missouri.
Well, I guess either one of you or both of you called it that this was their weird round. I don't know if Lloyd is weird so much. I didn't see it coming, but that doesn't necessarily make it a weird pick. This one's a weird one to me.
So they have 1-4. History tells us that that fourth rounder is going to be a trenches guy. So you're looking at, start looking at I could see them doubling up on tackle. Even though we've already talked about how they've been picked over. Could also see them going D tackle there, but they are, that's where they usually go in the fourth.
If there's a need still remaining, it's interior defensive line.
Is there? They've already got 5 guys for that spot.
It's fourth.
Yeah, and if you're talking about a Kenny Clark replacement, you're not picking him in the 4th round or the 5th round. So I kind of agree with Andy that it's not really a spot where they need depth. You're looking at a future starter, perhaps, and I don't think that's necessarily where you're drafting in the 4th round. Maybe you find one, maybe you unearth a gem, but yeah, I don't know. This last pick just blew my mind. My mind is.
What's his?
His RAS was like a 7.6.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, just I said a little underwhelming for me.
What on the RAS? What did he test everything?
Let me pull him back up here. All right, so he was a 7.33 overall score. Composite size grade okay, measured in at 6'1", 230. Composite speed grade was good. 4.68 in the 40. 20-yard split in the 80th percentile for that. 10-yard split is in the 64th percentile.
What about the agilities?
Composite agility grade is poor in the 37th percentile for shuttle and 42nd percentile in 3-cone. Good explosion, 83rd percentile for vertical leap and 91st percentile in broad jump. So this continues to be a weird one for me.
So Bleacher Report's little bio on him was he is a solid coverage linebacker, contribute on special teams in the NFL. He has impressive speed and movement skills, which show up the most in man coverage against running backs and tight ends. He can also close in a hurry and be an asset as a specialty blitzer on 3rd downs.
So the heat-seeking missile kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know who the scouting stuff reminds me of? Who was the linebacker they took about 4 or 5 years ago? Never panned out, but was supposed to be the coverage guy.
Oren Burks.
This is kind of what it's reminding me of.
Who just got his 3rd contract, by the way.
He's still in the league?
He's a rotational player for the 49ers.
Yeah, he's actually one of the best coverage linebackers in the entire NFL.
He's the new Brandon Shalar.
He was one of the best coverage linebackers in the entire NFL.
Good for him. Way to stay in the league, buddy. All right. Let's see. Some guy named Joey Van Zummeren says Packers fans will love Teron Hopper. Loves football and has high football IQ. Exciting project with some good athleticism. Needs to improve vision, but good tackler and a personality you want on your team.
I will tell you, I don't hate scenarios where you pick guys that need to add weight.
He's added quite a bit of weight since his high school days too. He didn't grow, so he's the same height coming out of high school as he is now, but he added 20 pounds since high school. From what you just said on the profile.
Sure. All right, let's see who the Eagles steal at pick number 94 here.
Isaac just went, by the way.
Garendo?
Oh, Adisa Isaac.
Oh, gotcha. Up to the Ravens, naturally. That reminds me of that GIF of the guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Jalix Hunt.
Is that Philly? Is that who they got?
That's Philly. That he's a tweener, but there is something with Jalix Hunt. Reminds me a ton of former Seattle draft pick Bruce Irvin. Super explosive. Can't play the run for shit.
I'm watching his highlight tape, and he looks like he's Clay Matthews against the 49ers.
He cannot, literally cannot play the run. But
All right. Ken Ingalls says Packers linebacker Teron Hopper probably takes the place and role of Christian Welch on this roster.
I mean, that's where we're at now.
Okay. All right.
we'll have to see, right? All this is we'll have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens.
Like I think I said it right after the pick was made that we don't know shit, but certainly not something that is necessarily exciting.
Goody gets weird in the third round.
He doesn't have a great third round track record, that's for sure. Last year he kind of broke it, but that's the round where he struggled the most. From a classic sense. That
They go boom bust third round, and they busted a shit ton more than they boomed.
Let's take a look because
it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. There's only one outlier. It's last year.
Let's take a look. Packers.
I have it here. So last year was Tucker Kraft. The year before was Sean Ryan. Jury's out on that one, I think.
Yeah.
Amari Rodgers in 2021.
Yeah.
DeGuara in 2020.
Yeah.
Sternberger in 2019.
Ooh.
Oren Burks in 2018.
Probably their best third rounder.
Montravius Adams in 2017.
Well, I think that's the last Ted year.
That's a Ted draft, yeah.
Yeah. But still, let's keep it going.
Kyler Fackrell in 2016.
Okay.
Ty Montgomery in 2015.
Keep it going.
Kyrie Thornton and Richard Rodgers in 2014.
Oh, man.
Rodgers was at least playable.
Yeah, he was a rotational tight end.
They didn't pick in 2013 or 2012. Alex Green in 2011.
Bowling Green.
Morgan Burnett in 2010.
That's your last one.
Yeah.
Alex Green was Hawaii.
Oh, sorry. Wrong green colored school. My bad.
Juan Green. Jermichael Finley, 2008.
Okay, so now we're back to where we need to be.
And then you're in James Jones, Aaron Rouse in 2007. A jersey I used to have but got rid of in 2006, Abdul Hodge.
That's right. I was all fucking in on Abdul Hodge.
An Iowa defensive player. I'm not shocked.
Maybe that's where it all started for me.
I think the Aaron Rouse year is the first year that we did this.
Well, and I loved me some Aaron Rouse too.
Well, you actually hated the pick. I was
no.
You told me
I love the Giants.
Plays like Jane. It like repeats in my fucking brain.
We got to be thinking of a different year then. Because what year was that?
The first year we did this was 2010.
Yeah, Aaron Rouse was 2007. Yeah, 2010. That sounds about right. Bulaga, we were all in on Bulaga. We liked him.
Because that was the first year they went to Thursday night.
That's right. Good call.
Well, we'll see what happens with Hopper.
God, Brian Bulaga was 14 years ago.
I feel fucking old.
Yeah, where does it go, man? Where does it go?
Last night, man.
Just for the record, that was a a very good draft in 2010. They went Bulaga, Mike Neal, Morgan Burnett, Andrew Corliss, Marshall Newhouse, James Starks, C.J. Wilson.
Dude, Marshall Newhouse played forever.
They got a lot. You got a lot of snaps out of that team, that draft.
So Green Bay had 13 draft picks last year. They currently have 13 this year as well. That is the Ted approach. Take as many swings as you can.
Don't ask me about the next year. 2011 was a rough draft.
Worse than 20?
Derek Sherrod,
Oof.
Randall Cobb,
Great
Alex
pick.
Green, Devon House, DJ Williams, Caleb Schlotteroff, DJ Smith, Ricky Elmore, Ryan Taylor, Lawrence Guy.
Lawrence Guy played for a while.
Yeah, he had some really good years for New England, and I think Indianapolis as well. But yeah, overall, that's pretty poopy.
All right, so looking forward. So I'm assuming we're done today.
2015 is worse than 2015. Might be the worst one I'm seeing right now.
Oh
Demarius
God.
Randall.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins, Ty Montgomery, Jake Ryan, Brett Hundley, Aaron Ripkowski, Christian Ringo, Kennard Backman.
A lot of those people had a lot of snaps and a lot of years that they played, but they were all backups.
They were not good.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward, we have a 4, 2 5s, 3 6s, 2 7s.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of if you can flip future picks, trade a 6th for a future 5th, trade a 7th for a future 6th. You do not need 13 draft picks.
I think they're gonna. There's no way they take 3 6s. There's no way they're gonna do. Shit, they have 4 picks in the last 40.
So if I'm Green Bay, this is just. I think.
By the way, Packer guy just went off the board. Jerry Jones. I would have loved him at 91. Goes to the
Packers having a sneaky draft.
I feel like in general, NFL GMs overvalue their late round picks. I would take the falling guy with injury concerns that might be okay every time.
And they've done this the last couple of years. So they used to. So Ted's mantra was to not have 7th round picks, to be out of the 7th and start UDFA negotiations in the 7th. And Goody has kind of flipped that, especially with the Anthony Johnson kind of deal last year, where he's trying to load up those 7th, take those prio free agents in the 7th, in the 6th, and lock them in rather than have to negotiate against other teams.
Well, you know what I miss about the Ted drafts too is every year in the 7th, you're taking just the athletic freak, but no production wide receivers from the smallest schools, like just track stars basically every year.
Oh, see, I would have.
They did that last year too. Well, I shouldn't say not wide receiver, but Brenton Cox, right? They tried to trade back in last year for Brenton Cox, who was a top 5 high school recruit, total athletic freak, just unbelievable freak that had all these off the field, like random ass, stupid ass shit that we all do when we're 20 to 22 years old. And they carried him the entire year.
Yeah, I totally forgot about him, and now I'm looking him up, and it's like that's right. He's still on the roster.
They carried him on the 53 the entire year to protect. They basically they redshirted somebody the entire year, and carried him on the 53 to protect and not lose him, who does not fit this scheme at all whatsoever. I think their mindset is to get
You
athletes.
are correct. I do not see that he registered a snap this year, but it does show that every single box score is accounted for on his profile.
Yep. He was every single game. He was 53, but inactive.
Yeah, he's got a lot of production here. I'm looking at here. Appeared in 33 games, started in all 33 at Florida from 20 to 22. Started one game at Georgia in 2018. 137 career tackles, 34 TFLs, 15 and a half sacks, 40 hurries, 10 passes defended. Interesting. Maybe that's another Yash Nyman that you sit for a couple of years and then has a decent role for you.
I think that's what they're doing with these late round picks is they're snatching the prio free agents. They go back to that top 30 list.
So the thing about Cox is it's not like he's Kingsley size.
Yep.
So if you're giving up on Cox, you're giving up on Kingsley too.
Well, they don't have to, right? They're gonna IR Kingsley.
By the way, Brewers are in the 11th.
Yeah, it's top of the 11th. Or no, we're going to the bottom of the 11th. 6-6. So the Brewers are going to have a guy on second base. Can they just manufacture him over?
Or just hit a home run. Just Pedro Serrano this shit.
Yeah,
We say, fuck you, Jobu.
El Gary up there and just let him hack.
Where are we at in the lineup here?
Legend Owen Mills. Well, Owen Miller is at second as our pinch runner. Did not realize he was still in the system. Oh yeah, Bryce is on Bryce is at the dish. It's over. Let's go. With his big ass knob.
Yeah. So we talked about this, and I've been waiting to get this on stream.
Bryce's
Bryce
knob.
Miller, or I'm sorry, not Bryce Miller. Bryce Durang. When you have bat speed issues and your swing gets long, you have to balance it out. What did Durang do?
It does look like he's holding a candlestick.
He's literally look at the bottom half of the bat knob. If you're forced to choke and you can't get the bat balance up, like if you can't grasp that and deal with that,
it looks like he could stand it up on its end and it would just sit.
It is huge. It's massive.
He's got a massive knob.
It's working, right?
He's working his knob.
It's fucking working.
Didn't work. He just tried to bunt twice. Popped the second one back to the.
Oh, there goes Peyton Wilson. Steelers.
There you go. That's pretty cool. Like if you're a team like Pittsburgh, Philly, Baltimore, you just don't do anything stupid. You just take the guy that falls, and it always happens for them. Don't
Sometimes
get cute.
it works out. They look like smarts. Sometimes it doesn't.
With two strikes, Terang is still trying to bunt here.
If Braylon Allen doesn't go to the Rams, I win $180.
Wow. That's quite a bet.
I got in on the
outside of the top 100?
The outside of the top 100.
I'm going to stick with this at
Does
least.
Detroit
until
have a
Brewers game.
monorail? They do. They just did a vertical view of Detroit. The city has a monorail.
All right, Terang not showing bunt anymore. Pops
We
it
have a
foul.
three.
Tell you what they don't have is a big old knob.
They don't. We have the knob.
It looks like a
That's the
fake.
nickname, right?
It looks like a toy bat or something. Like it is so funny.
I bet you would have never noticed.
I would not have. Now I can't. That's the only thing I notice now. All right, full count here. Let's see what our boy Bryce can do.
There are two things that I've given you in the last couple weeks: Mr. Potato Head and
Marvin Harrison's lips.
So apparently the knob is
Oh.
not big enough because the bat just
He
ended
just
in the dugout.
threw the knob into the dugout. Don't crack his knob.
Jacob, you were in a clubhouse for a while. How much is the team making fun of him for using a bat like that?
They're probably really intrigued and like taking BP with it and like seeing how they like it.
it's not uncommon.
Now I'm going to look at every bat I see.
Go back and look at Joey Votto's bats. Joey Votto used to have bats for specific counts where he would walk back to the dugout and switch bats.
Oh, there goes the knob. He just broke his bat. I feel like we cursed him or jinxed him. So Miller moves to third on a fly into right.
I mean,
all the knob talk, and he broke his knob.
The weird thing about that, though, is that ball went really far for a broken bat.
For a broken knob, yeah.
So I wonder if it broke when he threw it into the dugout.
It could be.
He hit-
probably cracked
I mean,
it. Cracked
He
his
hit
knob.
that- He hit that right on the sweet spot, and it just shattered.
You hate to see it.
All right,
Guy-
Joey Ortiz, just don't K. Oh, Kitchens. Eric, you just won some money.
I did.
Who did Cam Kitchens get drafted to?
The
LA.
Rams.
Okay. All right. Let's see what Ortiz does with his regular size knob.
They
Maybe
just-
even below average knob.
NFL Network just compared Kitchens to Sean Taylor.
What?
Yeah.
Miami safety, that's about it. I mean, I guess they were both very productive, but
Sean
Ball
Taylor.
game.
I mean, he has the size, not necessarily the speed. Ball game over. Joey Ortiz delivers. Brewers win. A win for the good guys.
Y'all hated Joey Ortiz.
I mean, I don't hate him.
They just took off his jersey so we can confirm no buzzer. He is not wearing a buzzer.
That was still some of the funniest shit ever. You hit one of the biggest home runs of your life, and you're rounding third, and you look terrified.
Yeah, Ortiz just needs a chance, man.
He's like naked on the field right now.
Luke
His knob is not
McCaffrey.
showing, though.
Luke McCaffrey just went as the last pick of the third round.
Old Eddie's son,
Who did he go to?
Washington.
Washington.
All right. I'm trying to see if I'm in better shape than Joey Ortiz. Oh, yeah, I got more definition. All right, we're good. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up, guys. Got to see a Brewers win. Got to see a very Packers-esque draft on night 2. And I don't know if I'll log on for day 3. I don't know if anybody has that in them. But if I do, I'll let you know.
I will be. I'll be
I'll
here.
be watching. I don't know if I'll be logging in, but
That's up to you. But glad that the Brewers won. Glad that the Packers got some people, and the Bucks did what that
yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
shitty ass product does.
All right, go to bed.
Sorry.
Night, everyone.
Later.
Later, guys.